A regular meeting of the City Council held in the City Council chamber on Thursday, December 7th at 7 p.m., 2017 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on December 5th, 2017 at 11:44 a.m. This meeting is being taped, is live on SATV. Council President Milo presided. Councilor Lovely is the only one absent. Councilor Fury moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Normally at this time we ask you to stand and pledge allegiance. I'd ask you to stand right now. As many of you know, today is December 7th. We're remembering 76 years ago, Pearl Harbor Day. And I would like to take this opportunity to ask everybody to have a moment of silence to remember those who passed on December 7th, 1941. Also those who have passed, who passed before and since, and just remember all our military men and women and the Gold Star families. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Madam President, when a personal pledge, might I quickly remember Everett Little, a Salem man who was at Pearl Harbor the day it was bombed. His wife still lives, widow still lives on Bridge Street, near Naughty Street, and he was there the day it happened, and he was on TV when they interviewed all the people who were there, and never spoke about it, never knew it till I heard him talking on TV about it.
Greatest generation.
Salem guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilor Ryan, if you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and we have some folks being sworn in this evening. So if we could suspend the rules to ask. Thank you. Seeing no objection, Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Council President Milo and members of the council. It's my pleasure to be here this evening on what's our last meeting of the City Council for this calendar year. Give us an opportunity to set the tax rate, and what fitting opportunity as well to swear in 2 new members and also to swear in a promotion to lieutenant for members of our fire department. As we set the tax rate, that's also a time for us to recognize how we pay for the very many investments that we're making, and what a great reminder of the incredible investments we're making in public safety, not only in personnel, which we're glad to have here, but also equipment, and a demonstration of where the dollars that we ask taxpayers for are being spent. Public safety, schools, education, and as we set the tax rate tonight, we'll have an opportunity to see the benefit of where those dollars are going. So we're thrilled to have the individuals and their families, and appreciate the sacrifice members of our public safety department make day in and day out to continue to have Salem be just a wonderful place to raise a family and to know that you're safe while you're here. And I'll ask Chief Cody, who would like to say a few words to recognize the contributions of these individuals, to speak as well.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. We have 3 gentlemen tonight, 1 for promotion and 2 who are brand new to the department. All 3 of these gentlemen are veterans. Matt DeReese is an 8-year veteran of the fire department and also a captain with the Air Force. Sean Hebert, brand new. He will graduate the academy tomorrow morning, and a Navy veteran. And Kevin Welch, who is a Marine veteran, and he will also graduate the academy tomorrow morning. I do want to say that these guys actually led their class out there in Stowe for the last 9 weeks with a 90% average on their tests, so they're very good candidates for the City of Salem and the Salem Fire Department. So, Council, thank you very much for letting us do this. Mayor, thank you very much.
I
I, Matthew Frederice,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as lieutenant,
as lieutenant,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Salem,
of the City of Salem,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I
I, Matthew Frederice,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Had a good example, right? Yeah. So, we're gonna start out, and there's the pause. You're gonna fill in your raise your right hand, repeat after me.
I, Kevin Welch,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as a firefighter,
as a firefighter,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
acting to the best of my ability and understanding,
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
agreeably with the Constitution and laws
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Salem,
of the City of Salem,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I
I, Kevin Welch,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. So while we've just completed the swearing in, there is the official signing of the registrar that you need to complete. Maybe we could ask for a brief 1-minute recess to allow the gentleman to take care of that last piece of business.
So moved.
Okay, we're in recess. Thank you. Okay, we are back in. Move to resume. Thank you. Okay, and if I might see a suspension of the rules so that the mayor can address us?
So moved.
So moved. Seeing no objection,
Thank
Madam
you.
Mayor?
Just to be briefly, I know we just had an exciting night with 2 new firefighters being sworn in and a promotion to lieutenant. I also wanted to call attention to Sergeant Pete Gifford, who's on the other end of his career. Many of you know Sergeant Gifford from the Salem Police Department. He has had an array of duties within our police department, from a park police officer to a harbor master to an array of opportunities throughout his 40-year career, and he retired. Today is officially his last day. He's also our official bagpiper, so we're really going to be in trouble. But just wanted to make sure we recognized the commitment he's made to the police department in light of this feels like public safety night. So some at the beginning of their career and one certainly at the end. And just wanted to call that to your attention as well, so you're aware of that.
Thank you. Okay, we're at public testimony. Jeff Cohen.
Jeff Cohen, 12 Hancock Street. I'm here to support and commend the Lorax Committee. I went to probably a third of the meetings or a quarter of the meetings, and this crew, Councilor Epley and Doreen, Polly, Flora, and the whole group worked so hard it wore me out just watching them. They put an amazing amount of work and they met almost weekly. This is really important ordinance to consider. There's a few reasons. One is that we are losing our canopy in the city, which not only affects the aesthetics, but obviously the amount of carbon we have in the air. And the more carbon, the more issues for everyone. As you guys know, I know a little bit about solar. We have installed almost 500 solar installations, homeowners in Salem, and 2 schools. And the methane from the gas leaks is actually mitigating the solar production 100%. So it's really important not only that we get a handle on the gas leaks, which I know is in front of you guys, but we also need to make sure that we not only keep up with replacing trees and protecting the trees, but make sure that we, well, I would encourage you to put a little effort into the budget to make sure that we have more trees. We need to get back to where we used to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have John McKinnon. Mr. McKinnon, if you can give us your name and your address, and also, just for those of us who might not have a lot of military background, can you also tell us what a ruck march actually is?
Ma'am, I'm actually prepared a speech for this. My name is John McKinnon. I'm from Salem, Mass. I grew up on 14 Saunders Street. I've been out of the military now for almost 2 years, coming up to date. I joined school here. I go to Salem State. I'm a business major. Last year I joined a fraternity. I never had thought about ever joining a fraternity my entire life. I ended up going to school. I met some really good people. Actually, a lot of my brothers are fraternity members that are actually military members. They all work for the fire department, police department. We're actually probably one of the oldest fraternities around to this date. I'm here to pitch my idea to have a ruck march for Homes for Our Troops. If you guys don't know who Homes for Our Troops is, they are a nonprofit organization that deals with mainly post 9/11. All right, a lot of these guys that are coming home legless, armless. Anyone that knows about it, these guys are coming home really messed up. I've met plenty of my brothers that I've seen that happen this for. The ruck march is a weighted backpack that you're going to walk, and it's going to be a 5K. As of right now, I do not have a set price to charge everybody, but all of our money that we are raising, that we are setting foundations for, is all going to Homes for Our Troops. There's no money going to me. There's no money going to my fraternity. There's no money going to the school of Salem State. It's all going to Homes for Our Troops. I know last year they did a project in Natick for a veteran there that had a really bad problem. He had to have wheelchair access put in. We're encouraging the city of Salem. I would like to see more of a veteran presence around city of Salem, which was already there. Kim Emmerling is backing me up on this. He's helping me out, helping me do this. He's been helping me the whole way through. Not only do I have that, I have this school also straight behind me, and then I also have the student veteran organization that all my friends are on, that they're also backing us up on this. I'm asking here that if everyone here on this board would like to please back us up. I know the route's going down the main street, and everyone's like, oh, well, it's going to block the roads, it might do this, but if we're showing this for a good cause, I've done this hike multiple times. I just did the Silkies hike in Boston. That was the best one. You had everybody coming out supporting you. No one cared. They were all there. They were cheering us on, watching us go. And we did 22K, which is about 18 miles that we walked. And it was just a fun time. And we're here to show support for our veterans here in Salem. At this point, if you guys have any questions, I'm more than welcome to answer them.
Well, sir, the public testimony isn't meant for question and answers, but we appreciate all the information that you've given us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is David Rowan.
Thank you, Dave Rowan, 109 Columbus Ave in Salem. I'm a spokesperson for a Safe Salem Alliance for the Environment, and I just wanted to bring to the council's, well, the council's already brought to the attention the situation of gas leaks, but I also wanted to commend on behalf of Safe the Lorax Committee for doing all that they've been doing to ensure our canopy is alive and continues to grow. But the one thing I wanted to bring forth and make a point about was that the ordinance that the Lorax has been working on has yet to have anything in it about having potential planting sites for trees tested for gas leaks. I think it's kind of a no-brainer, but I just want to advocate on the behalf of SAFE to have that included in the ordinance when it gets finalized. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got a lot of business tonight, and we've got a number of people here, a number of appointments. We're going to end up taking some of the items out of order so that we can get most of you out of here so you can enjoy the rest of your evening. But right now, we're going to start with hearings.
Ordered National Grid to install conduits on Federal Street to a manhole on North Street.
Okay, do we have anybody appearing in favor?
Sabita Mahaber Sheehy, representing National Grid, 44 River Street, Beverly, Massachusetts. This is to upgrade the infrastructure and reliability in this particular area.
Okay, thank you. Do councilors have any questions? Well, first of all, do we have anybody appearing opposed? Is there anybody opposed? No, okay, so do you have any questions?
Yes.
Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Madam President. Just wondering when this work is looking to be done.
Whenever we can schedule it.
With that being said, I'm just hoping it could be done not during the times people are trying to get to or from work. So right now, we've already had a lot of kids having issues getting to and from school. So especially due to this location, it's right on the corner of Federal Street and North Street. So if you go past the courthouses and you're going to turn right onto 114 there, that we could prevent it from happening during peak rush hour. That's any closures. So I'd like to have that as a condition. We've had too much happening during those hours, so that work, I guess, take place between 9 and 2, but then to wrap up. One block over, we have the Essex Street work, and then the second part is just to ensure that once the work is done, that it's like with like for any work that gets dug up, and we don't have the dip in the road that sometimes conduits leave. You have the 1-inch dip that after a while it settles, that gets taken care of. We've had some in the past that no one's actually come back to, actually still for some of the past work with National Grid, and I'd like to see that fixed up. Actually, I don't know if any of the councilors that we put that in the past, if that work got fixed yet. I'm looking at the Ward 5 councilor for that.
I am not sure on that. Right now, we're still going. Not sure if that's still underway.
So I guess that's the only question for that. And then other than that, if there are no other public part, I'd move that the public hearing be closed.
Councilor Famico moves that the public hearing be closed. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor Famico.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I'd move we approve, but that work in that location not take place, I guess, between 7 and 9 a.m. or between, like, you can't do work after 5 p.m., so I'd say, and then wraps up prior to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. There's too much happening, especially with that location. I'd like to see that condition in place. And I need a second for that, Madam President.
Second.
Okay. On Councilor Famico's motion to approve with conditions, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. If we can skip the property tax hearing, can somebody, Councilor Terrio?
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we go to page 5 on the agenda, appointments, reappointments. Handle
Great,
those.
okay, thank you. Councilor Terrio moves that we move to page 5, appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Robin Siddell to serve as a member of Traffic and Parking Commission with a term to expire on September 29, 2018.
Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Famico moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Madam Clerk? Oh, all those in favor?
Under discussion.
Under discussion? It's the end of the year, let's go. All right, under discussion, Councilor.
Yes. Thank you, Madam President. First off, thank you to Nick for serving on this Traffic and Parking Commission previously. Thrilled to have him on board with the City of Salem now. However, I do miss seeing him during my morning commute when he and his wife would be on the same train often. So wish him well in that role. I'm also pleased to have Robin join us for this commission. She has a great background with transportation, architecture, has also worked on some really big plans with the MBTA, with Braintree and Quincy with their garages, and has some great hands-on experience with this that I think will be a huge asset to our city going forward. So I thank her for taking this step and being part of this going forward for us.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none. On Council Famico's motion for confirmation by roll call vote, Madam Clerk?
Council Terrio?
Yes.
Council Sergeant?
Yes.
Council Ryan?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Gerard?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Famico?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Dibble?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes. Thank you. In the matter of the appointment of Robin Seidel to the Traffic and Parking Commission, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for a suspension of the rules to allow Robin to address the council and those in the audience if she chooses to do so.
Seeing no objection? Robin?
I just wanted to thank the mayor and the council for having me. I'm really looking forward to working with all of you and to just keep Salem going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Gordon Dearborn Wilkins to serve as a member of the Cemetery Commission with a term to expire on February 1st, 2019.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
Under discussion, thank you, Madam President. First of all, I want to, before I introduce Mr. Wilkins to everybody, I just want to take a moment to recognize Mrs. Joanne Miziak, who will be leaving. Anyone who knows Mrs. Miziak knows the kind of dedication she's had to the city of Salem, and I applaud her for all her years of service. I know that she is going through, she just suffered the loss of her husband as well, so I mean, at this point to step down, I know she needs some time away, but I want to first thank her for all the years of service. But at this time, I wholeheartedly, enthusiastically stand before you to recommend Mr. Wilkins to fill her position. As anyone can see from the resume that was attached to us, he has an extensive resume, background in art history. He is an assistant curator at the PBS Essex Museum. He's going to bring you a unique perspective about the history and the architecture and all the historic aspects of the cemeteries as we try to work to preserve them and continue them as great assets to the city that they are. So I want to applaud the mayor for bringing this appointment in front of us. I also want to thank him for stepping up to volunteer to fill his position. I had the pleasure of meeting him briefly before the meeting. It seems like he'll do a great job at this, and I wholeheartedly recommend his approval.
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to agree with the good Ward 1 councilor on Mr. Wilkins. I have 2 things to say. First, I also completely agree regarding Joanne Miziak and the amount of dedication that she provided to not only the Cemetery Commission, but also to the Lorax Task Force. She was one of our initial members of the Lorax Task Force. And so I would say to Mr. Wilkins that once you're on the Cemetery Commission, I would encourage you or one of your colleagues to please join us, because you have 1 seat on the Lorax that needs to be filled after you get appointed. So.
Councilor Fury.
Madam President, I have the privilege and pleasure of working with Gordon at the Peabody Essex Museum, and he brings a great resume to the Peabody Essex Museum. I love working at the Peabody Essex Museum. It's a jewel, it's an oasis of culture and history, and your service here was a real credit, and thank you very much. It's a nice partnership relationship with the Peabody Essex Museum and the City of Salem. Thank you, Gordon.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Council Terrio?
Yes.
Council Sergeant?
Yes.
Council Ryan?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Gerard?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Famico?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Dibble?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the appointment of Gordon Dearborn Wilkins to the Cemetery Commission, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'd ask for suspension of rules to allow Mr. Wilkins to address us if he so chooses.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your kind words. I am very enthusiastic to begin working with the remaining counselors or the remaining members of the Cemetery Commission, and I certainly hope to uphold the lovely introduction that Councillor McCarthy gave to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of George Barbuzzi to serve as a member of the Salem Council on Aging with a term to expire March 1st, 2018.
Councilor Dibble.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
And the discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. This one here is of particular interest to me. I've known Mr. Barbuzzi for several decades, and I simply want to thank the mayor for appointing somebody who really believes in Salem. He has volunteered for decades on St. Anne's church bazaars and other St. Anne's activities, on youth sports throughout the city. He really cares about the city. But more importantly than this, well, equally as important as this, he knows our seniors. I've met with him in his office at his place of employment, at a rehab nursing home type of place. And he spoke to the issue, he addressed the issue, he knows seniors. I don't think we could ever find a better appointment for this. So I wholeheartedly endorse Mr. George Barbuzzi to the position.
Thank you. Councilor Fury.
Madam President, I can strongly concur on this appointment because George brings a lot to the plate in senior services. As a senior citizen myself, looking forward to a new council on aging. You're going to bring a lot of expertise, as you have done to the city of Salem. I've worked with the family, with the auto exchange too. So your enrollment and your public service to the city of Salem is just a step forward in this direction. Thank you, George.
Any further discussion? Councilor Fury?
Yes, please. Councilor?
Thank you, Mr. President. As you folks know, I don't usually come down to speak, but in this instance, excuse me, I think it's really important that I add accolades for Mr. Barbuzzi. Recently, I had to deal with him on a personal matter, and if he is half as caring and professional and knowledgeable on the Council on Aging as he was when I had to deal with him on this personal matter, I think the Council on Aging and I think the seniors in Salem are in good hands, and I think we're very, very lucky to have them.
Thank you. Any further comments on the recommendation of to the Council on Aging? Roll call vote. Madam City Clerk.
Councilor Terrio?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Ryan?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Giroux?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Famico?
Yes.
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Dibble?
Absolutely yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Thank you. 10 members present, 10 members voting yes, 1 absent. It passes. May I ask for a suspension of rules to allow Mr. Barbuzzi to speak if he wishes?
So moved. So moved.
Councilor Epley, please.
So moved. So moved.
So moved. Mr. Barbuzzi, would you like to speak, please? Our honor.
For the record, George Barbuzzi, 17 Preston Road. I'd just like to thank Mayor Driscoll and the members of the council for your support, and I really look forward to the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. Do we want to go back to the regular order? Are there other things, Councilor Dibble?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I move that we advance to page 9, the first item on the list. I'm sorry, the second item on page 9, and take it out of order, please.
Oh, okay, all right. Everybody got that? Page 9, second item. Communications from the mayor.
We have an order to transfer $32,000 from the following police department accounts. police full-time salaries to police community events, and police full-time salaries to police training and education.
Counselor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. Briefly, these are needed funds that, my gosh, I'm blanking on my notes right now. Hang on, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting to jump ahead here. That this was, that actually, it's important to note that this transfer is actually revenue neutral, that this is to cover any expenses that were from everything that the police do for us for Halloween. So strongly support this and can't thank them enough for all their help with keeping us safe at Halloween.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Gerard's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries.
Go back to.
Where shall we go now? Counselor Repley.
I know there's some people in the audience that are here on the Lorax Task Force ordinance. So if we could go to page 17.
Okay, Counselor Repley moves that we go to page 17. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Counselor Repley.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem City Council, December 7th, 2017, ordered that the attached proposed ordinance relative to a tree commission and warden, public tree preservation, protected tree preservation, and references for public and protected trees be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, and that Rule 31B be suspended so that the matter may be carried into the new year of 2018.
Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd object to suspending the Rule 31B, please.
Okay, we have an objection to the suspension of the rule. So Rule 31 will not be suspended in this instance. This particular matter will not be carried over to next year. Counselor Turrio.
See, Madam President, just point of procedure here. Is Rule 31 something, the suspension of Rule 31, is that something that can be prevented by a single objection, or is that?
It's suspending a rule, correct? And our rules say that if anybody objects to the suspension of a rule, then it does not carry.
Is that the ruling of the chair?
That's my ruling.
I move to overrule the ruling of the chair.
Okay.
Is there a second? All those in, well, sorry.
There's no debate on suspension of the rule.
It's non-debatable.
Well, Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I would just ask briefly, because I'm not really sure what just happened, is to the thought process. I mean, I don't mean to call out the good Ward 7 councilors, why he's objecting to carry a matter over to next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only, I mean, it's obviously this committee did a ton of work. He's trying to refer something to the committee, and then I guess it would be up to the License Order Legal Affairs Committee to carry it over, but.
There's going to be no meeting, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess if he could just explain why he's just objecting to, so basically he's gonna make this whole thing die right now, is the way I read it, because if it doesn't get carried over, it does nothing, so then the whole thing has to be reintroduced and re-brought back in next year.
Right.
Am I correct in that assumption?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. There's no discussion under suspension of the rules.
Okay.
So as far as challenging the chair, I have to say, I think out of everything that we've done this year, that's one thing we haven't done yet, right?
No.
So I'm guessing that we've got a second from the Ward 5 counselor. I would assume that that's something we have to vote on.
Challenging the chair? No, I don't think so.
I'm not sure. Madam Clerk? This is a good one. You tell us.
Yeah.
Yes?
No, I've not seen a challenge of the chair like this.
I'm sorry?
I've not seen a challenge of the chair like this.
My understanding of the rules, Madam President, point of procedure. I believe that overruling the chair is a simple majority vote.
Correct.
And
what
so
I
that's
think.
that's why I'm asking for a simple majority vote
Right.
of this council to overrule the ruling of the chair.
Yeah.
Okay, Madam President?
It's not debatable.
I think you just debated it, didn't you? Okay, overruling the chair is a matter of if the chair has an opinion. If the chair is stating a rule, that's the rule. If the chair is saying, the sky is blue, we can debate that. But suspension of the rules takes one objection. If we ask suspension of the rules to allow somebody to speak in the room and one person objects, it doesn't happen, okay? The rule's the rule. We're asking to go beyond the rule. We're asking to not use the rule. Somebody is saying, yes, we will use the rule. It just takes one person to say that and we go by the rule. That's just the way it is. You have to accept that.
Madam Clerk, can you find that rule about challenging the chair and read it to us, please?
That's some questions. That's not.
Can we take a 1-minute recess? Councilor McCarthy?
So moved.
Thank you. We'll take a 1-minute recess while the clerk researches this. Thank you. Councilor Terrio, thank you. Thank you for that break. The rules of the council are the rules of the council. One of the rules says that if one person objects to suspending a rule, we cannot suspend the rule. In this case, the Ward 4 councilor asked that Rule 31 be suspended. Councilor Dibble objected to that. That was a single objection. It's not my opinion, it's the rule, that the rule cannot be suspended. So this matter cannot go into next year.
Madam President.
I'm not done yet, thank you, sir. I'm not done speaking. You may sit, thanks. You can sit down, I haven't recognized you. Councilor Repley, you may sit down, I have not recognized you. Thank you. So, in this particular case, we are going to follow the rule. If the Good Ward 4 councilor feels that he needs to challenge my ruling, he can do that. But there is no opinion that I have expressed here that needs to be challenged. It's just, we're either following the rule or we're not following the rule. So tonight, we are going to follow the rules. Rule 31B will not be suspended, and this matter will not be carried into the new year. And that is my ruling.
Madam President.
Councilor Repley.
Thank you, Madam President. Point of parliamentary inquiry. Am I correct in stating that any matter that's filed on the last regular session has traditionally gone into the next session without any controversy in the past, for the past 4 years that both you and I have been on this council? Am I correct in stating that?
I can tell you, Councilor Repley, that the rule says that any financial matter that's filed in the last meeting gets moved into the next year.
Respectfully,
The
Madam
rules
President.
do not speak to any other matter. And I'm going to tell everybody right now, we're not going to debate this all night.
Madam
You can do what you need to do, but I will tell you that the ruling is the ruling. This is not going to be suspended. This matter is not going to be carried into next year, and that's the end of it. If you feel that you want to object, if you feel that you need to make any kind of a legal filing, sir, you are welcome to do that, but we're going to go on with the meeting. Next matter. Are we going back to the regular order?
So moved, Madam President.
Okay.
Page 4.
Hearings.
We have a public hearing on the issue of allocating the local property tax levy among the 4 property classes for fiscal year 2018 and the residential, open space, and small commercial exemption options.
Okay. This evening, we have present Mayor Driscoll. Oh, she's out there, I see her.
She's coming.
What was that?
She's coming. She's outside.
Okay. From the administration, Deb Jackson, who's the director, who's the assessor, We have from the Board of Assessors, gentlemen, if you would like to introduce yourselves.
Jim Bond, Assistant Assessor. Jamie Johnson, member of the board. Rich Gold, member of the board. Bob Murray, member of the board.
Stephen. Thank you.
No, and Stephen.
Thank you. At this point, I'd like to turn the meeting over to the mayor and the administration to give their presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to actually delegate this to our assessor and take an opportunity to thank the Board of Assessors for the work they're doing throughout the year, not just today. Today is always the day that they're here. This is the meeting where we set the tax rate and go through the classification hearing process. But we really do appreciate the amount of time and attention given all year long. Salem is a hot city. There are a lot of sales. There are issues between mixed use at times that we rely on the board's expertise, and we're really grateful for the time that they put in. I also want to thank Deb. She's been an assessor in Salem and other communities. She brings a great deal of expertise to her profession, but also as a resident here, which I think provides additional insights and input to help us as we look at property values and put us in a position to develop the strong fiscal strategies that we have, whether it's supporting new growth, looking for ways to ensure that we're doing all that we can to limit impacts to residential ratepayers. Tonight in particular, as you go through the process, you will see that we have proposed a slight shift to the CIP with the goal of trying to make sure we're looking at the collection of tax revenues and taking into consideration the growth we're seeing on the residential value side, which is far surpassing the pace of growth on the commercial side. But we can go through those details, and I think we're both here to help answer questions or clarify any additional information. So thanks, Deb.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, councilors, for the privilege to come before you. This meeting is always a culmination of a year's worth of work in our office. And tonight we get to pick the residential factor. I have the pleasure of working with our board, working with the people in my office, working with Lori Giadella, our new finance director, and everybody puts a lot of effort into getting here tonight. Next slide. Basically, what the tax classification hearing is once the property has been classified by value, then the council holds a public hearing to allocate the percentage of the taxes between the different classes. Salem has, for at least the last 20 years, had a split rate. So that is how the classes have been separated, that the commercial has had a higher tax rate, and the residents have had a little bit more of a break. In particular, for some of the new councilors that will be starting next year, just to go over some of the key terms, the levy is the actual amount that we raise through taxation for real estate and personal property. And then the levy limit is the maximum amount that a community can raise each given year. We start with last year's amount that was raised, add the 2.5% and new growth, and that's the max amount that we can raise each year, which for the last few years we have been significantly below that amount. The levy ceiling is 2.5% of the total value. We are significantly below that. That's a kind of a weird math problem that the state, our levy ceiling is well over about 140 million. We're way below that. New growth is the increase in tax base due to construction, parcel subdivision, condo conversion, property renovation, but not due to the revaluation. It is calculated by multiplying the increased assessment by the prior year's tax rate and added to our growth. And this year we have over a $5 million in excess levy capacity. That is the amount we could go up that much more in raising money for taxation. So the hearing that we have tonight is for the councilors to select the residential factor. Salem does not really have any open space, so categorized that way. And we have traditionally voted not to do a residential exemption or a small commercial exemption, but they must be voted on every year. So just to give you a little more of an idea of where we are in the change in value, Overall, the residential value has gone up about 8%. We are mandated by the Department of Revenue to assess at full and fair cash value, and we use sales, improvements, all the changes that we see in property that to help us determine what we do for changes. Commercially, it's been pretty flat. We just have seen a 1% increase. A little bit of that is also we've seen conversions from commercial properties or mixed use to all residential. We've seen a lot of condo conversions. Some of the mixed use properties, in particular on Bridge Street, a lot of growth going on in that neighborhood. The industrial has gone up 21%, predominantly with about a $20 million increase in the power plant. We now receive $750,000 from the power plant via taxation. And in personal property, all the streets that have been chopped up, some of that we do see that about a $20 million growth with all the new pipes underground. So there are some benefits to dealing with some of the inconveniences that we've had with the construction in town. And new growth. This year we've had 16 new single families. We have 73 new condominiums. The 2s and 3 family growth is, some of it is future conversions to condos, but it's just normal repairs and renovations. Multifamily's the same thing. Commercial, same thing, just improvements to property, additions. The industrial, the growth is predominantly from the power plant. And then personal property, historically, that is where we get the most growth numbers. So compared to last year, about $1 million over what we were last year. So for 2.4, almost 2.5 million in growth dollars, which is a lot of work going on in Salem. In Salem this year, the 2018 levy limit is $95,321,556. And the levy, the taxes to be raised this year is $89,868,125, which leaves us $431 less than the levy limit. And that is what we call our excess levy capacity. In order for the assessors, for all of us to do our jobs, we look at all the sales through the Department of Revenue. We compare the assessment to sales ratios, and as you can see, the predominant sales are the condominiums. Actually, since I started here 20 years ago, we have almost 2,000 more condominiums than we did then. And I'll show you another slide between the condos and the single families. But then we had 226 single family sales, 72 multifamilies. The commercial industrial are predominantly assessed for their income. We historically haven't had a lot of sales. Next year, I'm happy to say, I think we'll have a few more sales to make some judgment, which will be very helpful. The next slide shows just the average changes per class, and you can see that we have almost 5,000 single families and 4,200 condos. 8% increase in the single family average value, 5.5 on the condo. The 2s and the 3s are approximately 10% up, and apartments about 6. Commercial, again, back down closer to the 1%. In the industrial, with the power plant, up 24%. And definitely the extra value in the industrial and the personal property have added to the commercial value. This is just a slide of how it breaks out. You can see that I'll keep repeating, the singles and the condos are the predominant class that we have in the city. The average increases that are noted on this slide are based on the 1.69 commercial split. And you can see we're kind of in the middle of that. Marblehead went up about 300, Ipswich 267, Rockport 266. We're at 259 at 1.69, Beverly at 247, and Danvers at 244. And we would have had Peabody and Lynn up there, but they haven't even had their classification hearing. I mean, we often use those as comparative. And a couple of the other communities, Beverly and Danvers in particular, have also gone up on their commercial CIP shift due to the same situations that we're dealing with the changes being different. This is just to show you that the majority of the properties are worth less than the average, 63% worth less on the singles. Next slide. Condos are pretty even, you know, that the average is about right in the middle. We do have higher, but we certainly have significantly lower. Go ahead. And on the average at $259, the single families would go up roughly $22 per month, and the condos $8 per month at only $97 average increase for the year. And I keep repeating, but 75% of the properties are the singles and the condos. The twos and threes are seeing a little higher increase this year. Predominantly, you have to remember in 2006, 2007, they started dipping quite a bit. That was their peak, and we're just back at that peak and starting to go above that. A couple of years, we only had like an $8, $9 increase on the or a decrease on the multifamilies. So yes, it's a little higher, but the majority of the properties, 61% below on the two families and 56 below, number of properties below in value on the three families. Commercial, the average value is $608,400 with an average increase at $200. If we stayed at 1.65, it would be, they would have gone down $225. Hence the reason to encourage the increase this year. This is just a slide to show you sort of the dips in the value and the back to the increase that we're seeing, and I'm happy to say that commercial and industrial are continuing to slowly rise as well. So tonight, the recommended split is the 1.69, which your vote would be on the residential factor of the 0.867261, and then the three remaining votes that you would take. And with that, how that affects the tax rate, the residential property makes up a total of 83.87, about 84% of the value. With the shift to the commercial of 1.69, it lessens the impact to 72%, or 11% decrease. So the overall commercial, it raises the commercial percentage of the tax rate to 27% from 16%. And historically, this is what Salem has done over the last 20 years. And that's really all that I have in the slideshow. Open for any questions. Want to turn the light back on?
If I could just add briefly two quick points. One, I also want to recognize Lori Giardella, our finance director, who's going through her first tax classification hearing with us. The components that got us here this evening also involve working collectively with the Department of Revenue, getting values squared away, getting free cash set, and that takes a lot of combined effort between both our assessors and our finance team, so I want to thank them for their help getting us to this point. I also want to recognize we are seeing a little bit of a trend this year with communities who are shifting their CIP. You may have caught the article on Beverly, who's taking a very similar approach to making a modest adjustment in the split to take into account just the fact that residential values are growing much faster than commercial. You know, I do think we look at a $250 increase, which is high for Salem. It's not normally higher than what we've been able to do the last several years. And I want to call out the fact that we have made some investments over the last budget cycle, frankly, the last 18 months, trying to catch up on infrastructure, additional investments in roads, green spaces. We are at full complement on public safety. We took advantage of the COP federal grants that we got and leveraged some additional resources that were needed. We know that we had some resource challenges within public works that involved also some equipment, from new tree trucks to new fire apparatus, one of which will be arriving soon, but you do have to pay for those things up front. So I want to call out, it is an increase. All increases are something that we take seriously. We want to do everything we can to have government work as efficiently as possible and hold the line on taxpayers, on taxpayer payments into the city on property taxes. But we also have a responsibility to provide reasonable services with individuals that are well-trained and well-equipped. And I do think our collective efforts have been around trying to pull together the resources to make the improvements that constituents expect. In order for us to, what impacts a tax bill, I think many of my colleagues here know this. It's either reducing the budget as it comes in or supporting new growth. Many of the costs that we have in our budget are not items that are discretionary, whether it's healthcare or pension costs. They're driven by things that are somewhat out of our control. In those discretionary items, we had tried to be smart about those investments and have them be responsive to constituent needs. So I think I'm mindful of these impacts as we approach the budget this year. We are trying to both attack problems that we know people want, but also set priorities. We can't say yes to everything because we'd be saying no to fiscal responsibility, but we do know we have needs and we want to try and meet them as effectively and efficiently. This classification hearing also reflects some of those efficiencies. We've invested in LED lights. We bid items you're not even required to bid to try and get the best prices. So I hope you recognize the partnership that we've shared in terms of trying to deliver services as efficiently as possible. But every fall, we do have to figure out how to pay for them. And this year, we are looking to slightly address that shift so that residential homeowners aren't picking up a larger share of the burden. And I'm happy to answer questions. I know Deb is here as well.
Councilor Turio.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I have a couple of questions, and some of this is addressed within the other votes that we have tonight, so I want to just sort of put them all out there at once. And to quote my colleague from Ward 1, this is always a process, so I apologize for stealing your line, but this is a bit of a cut and dry matter in a lot of ways, because when we pass the budget in June, and then we know what we're going to do, and then this is where we have to figure out exactly, once everything is in, how we're going to pay for it. So, I get that process, and it's never fun to do it, and I have a big whopping tax bill of my own that I get every quarter. But the question I have is a couple of things. First off, there's a couple of matters in here that I hope would help us. I know this is a year we didn't put through any water sewer increase, so we were able to hold the line there at least. We have some bond reallocation, I know, that's here in the agenda for taking unused funds from other bonds and using it to take finances that were otherwise authorized and cover those. And then we have allocations from other funds. We're sweeping clean some of the revolving funds, and also, I guess for the benefit of everybody who's listening to this in the room and stuff, and for the counselors, and especially for the new counselors, if you can kind of walk through some of that process for us.
Sure. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So I guess a couple of key points would be, I guess I'll work backwards. We do sweep any available revenues that are coming into the city from departments that generate revenues. In essence, we fund those fully throughout the year, and then when the revenues come in, we sweep those to help reduce the gross amount to be raised through taxation. We also have some free cash put into this budget cycle so that we don't want to be sitting on a big pile of free cash. Those are unexpended revenues or additional revenues that came in from the year before. So we're taking a portion of the free cash to also give that back to ratepayers, to homeowners, so that in the form of reducing the gross amount we have to raise. We did keep water and sewer lower, so we are mindful of fees and other things that people pay and trying to obviously be as efficient as we can. With respect to the reprogramming of the bond proceeds, so we bonded for a few school projects, as you know, and then we got additional reimbursements from the MSBA. Those projects were well managed, and we got reimbursed for the MSBA for more items than we anticipated, which is a good thing. So we wanted to reprogram some of those bond dollars to items that have already been approved by the council, which will do two things. It really won't have an impact this year because those are prospective debts that we'll be taking on. But because we won't have to go out and bond for those items, we'll be able to take advantage of the lower rates we got when we bonded initially several years ago for schools. We'll also know that we don't have the cost of bonding. Every time you go out to bond, there are legal costs and financial advisor costs that you won't have to have. We'll, in essence, be just shifting that debt, and what you authorized earlier will never be actually bonded for. But there will be some cost savings. Rates are going up slightly, interest rates, and it'll be cheaper to utilize the one-time borrowing costs we already had and just shift that debt service over. Did I catch everything you talked about? The reprogramming, the water and sewer, and the existing debt. I think so.
Any other questions from councilors? Councilor Famico, Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm not sure if we through you to either the mayor or to the city assessor. For the citywide parcels with apartments, 342, are we talking 4 to 8 units or more than 8 units for that?
Let me just double check. Let me see.
Are you talking about the blue, right?
Yes.
That includes 4 plus.
It's the 4 plus? And then connected to this, I'm just wondering if you happen to know this, with all of these apartments or single family or multifamily, do you happen to know out of these which ones have rentals and which ones, the percentage of owner occupied? To non-owner occupied?
In the apartments?
Or any of the housing stock?
We have that number because we use it for the investor-owned trash. I just don't know if I have the percentage off the top of my head.
I know when I go through residential, we are, give me a little latitude, but I want to say 70 to 80% owner occupied citywide. Take it with a little grain of salt, but that's not, yeah, that's.
That factors in those single-family homes, which you would expect to be
Yes.
owner-occupied. So I know that we've looked at just like solely the investor-owned properties out of that class. I just don't know it off the top of my head. We can get that for you, Counselor, if you're interested.
Yes, I'm interested just because tying into the tax rate with those that are non-owner occupied, they have additional fees that they're paying for trash. And later on the agenda tonight for potential inspections only for non-owner occupied units. So I was wondering what that percentage was.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
It used to be for everyone, and then they peeled out the owner-occupied ones to the new ordinance. So I was just curious how this transferred into that as well with the fees. Thank you very much.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to our assessor, you mentioned $202 in commercial property increase on average. If we take out the power plant from the whole equation, how does that really affect the average business throughout Salem? The second question, if I may, you also mentioned the underground utilities. I'm wondering if that would take into effect the natural gas lines that we have. They're pretty outdated, they're not worth a whole lot, but if they were upgraded, what type of dollars are we talking about, additional tax, if we had proper lines in Salem versus, 100-year-old lines? Thank you.
Well, we have seen an increase in personal property value we've seen growth in 40 million over the last couple of years with the infrastructure being replaced. So.
Just to follow up, if I may.
Sure.
What utilities would that be? Is that all utilities or just electric and gas?
Predominantly the gas. I'm not sure about the I don't know about the electric. It's got to be both. I'm not.
Well, N-Grid is now, both gas and electric, so that's how the billing cycle is. We've had the 100-year cable line replaced. That was on the electric side. There has been an aggressive amount of work done on the gas side. The gas side as well, not to mention, the new gas connection, things like that, that have been new infrastructure that wasn't there before, so.
Okay, if we can finish up on the relationship between the power plant, the new power plant and the commercial increase of $202. How would that?
If we didn't have it?
Yeah, if we didn't, how would that wash out for the commercial businesses?
I think, let me see, I wrote a note here.
I'll say the formula is a little tough to back out right now because the power plant's not being fully assessed on the commercial side of the market. There still is a subsidy coming in for the state to pay for a portion of that. So, and if you looked at this over a period of time, the power plant was paying $9.9 million at one point. Now, the full collection is $475, but only a portion of that ends up on the commercial or industrial side of the house because there's a subsidy coming in from the state, which goes into an other category. So we end up taking a lot of those revenues and backing into the commercial industrial rate because it's not a true commercial industrial payment. we can certainly do the math to try and figure out if you took it out. It's just you're not taking out 475, you're only taking out a portion. I think the power plant this year is paying, they're paying 750, but their valuation, so you have to look at where their valuation's at. They're only partially constructed, they're not fully online, and then you take the value and pull that out and see what you have left for a rate. So it's a tricky exercise. We could certainly do it. I just want to share with you, it's like different funding. It's a bit of a moving target right now. Am I right in saying that, by the way?
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean,
All right.
it would raise both tax rates. Exactly how much, I mean, it could raise the residential rate, you know, the commercial rate back over 30 and the residential rate back about where it was last year.
Because the pie would shift dramatically in terms of the residential being a larger percentage of all of the dollars coming in and all of the value coming in.
Thank you. The assessor just answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from councilors? No? Okay, this is
Yeah, just one last thing to note that I don't think we've talked about enough. I appreciate the work that goes into the budget. I think there's a lot of work that goes in every spring to make sure, what are we spending? We don't not take into account the fact that we have to pay for it in the fall. And we are $5 million under our levy, and that's not something that I think we've ever had that kind of levy capacity, which means we could be spending $5 million more and not be anywhere close to a Prop 2.5 override. There are a lot of communities that tax every single year to the max right at that levy capacity because you can't go back and recapture it. I think we are trying to be responsible and judicious with taxpayer money, find efficiencies, but also make sure we have resources. So I think it's important. This council, when I started, we had, when we started, many of us started together, we had a levy capacity of, in the tens of thousands of dollars, $35,000, and now we're at $5 million. So it's not as though we just took the money and, all the money that's available and spent as much as we possibly could, but we also want to be mindful of responsible investments in the infrastructure. So I think that's a credit to the fiscal responsibility that we've shown together, and I just don't want that to be lost on you this evening either. So thank you.
Okay, this is a public hearing. So if we have anyone who would like to speak in favor, we'll go around the room. Who'd like to speak in favor? Anyone who would like to speak opposed? No? Okay. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the public hearing be closed.
Councilor Gerard moves that the public hearing be closed. All those in favor? All those opposed? The hearing is closed. Let me see. Okay. So I believe we're on page 6 now?
Or should we just do all the?
You want to go right into?
Sure.
You want to go right to the taxes?
Page 7.
You want to skip ahead? What page is it?
7?
7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No?
Oh, yeah, you have to do that first. Yeah, yeah.
Yep, because we have to approve these to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
forward.
yep.
Okay, we're good with page 7, right?
Actually,
Okay.
we should just go right from 6 because they're all held under the rules, so. That's right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so I
whatever.
heard that.
Okay, let's go back to 6 and get rid of that one.
Let's go back.
Appointments and reappointments.
Do the mayor's appointment of Carly Dwyer Nag to serve as a member of the Public Art Commission with a term to expire September 22nd, 2018.
Councilor Famico.
Move this be held under the rules.
Councilor Famico moves that this be held under the rules. All those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Okay. Seeing no objection, they're held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have mayor's appointment of Gary Barrett to serve as a member of the Salem Redevelopment Authority with a term to expire on December 8th, 2021.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be held under the rules.
Councilor Gerard moves this be held under the rules. Seeing no objection, matter is held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Elaine Herodine to serve as a member of the Salem Council on Aging with a term to expire December 7th, 2020.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
Just briefly, just want to thank Elaine for all of her work, and we so appreciate everything she does for the city.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Council Turiel?
Yes.
Council Sargent?
Yes.
Council Ryan?
Yes.
Council McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Gerard?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Famico?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Dibble?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the let me see, this is on the reappointment of Elaine Herradine to serve as a member of the Salem Council on Aging with a term to expire on December 7th, 2020. We have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Okay, communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation for the sum of $1,694,429 from the fund balance free cash account to reduce the gross amount to be raised by taxation when fiscal year 2018 tax rate is set.
Councilor Giroux.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection?
Thank you, and I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you. Just briefly, this is something that we're very fortunate that we're able to do to offset the tax burden on our residents. So this is a great thing.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation for the sum of $1,295,034 from the Receipts Reserve for appropriation accounts to reduce the gross amount to be raised by taxation when fiscal year tax rate is set.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection?
Thank
Under
you again.
discussion?
I move for adoption.
Okay, and now we can discuss.
Now we can discuss that. I just want to thank everyone for coming to the Witch House, for using our golf course, and for using the Harbor Master services, because now, again, this is yet another way that we're able to offset the tax burden on our residents.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation of $822,193.52 from the overlay surplus accounts to reduce the gross amount to be raised by taxation when fiscal year 2018 tax rate is set.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Councilor
Thank
Gerard.
you. Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you. Actually, if I can just mention these three, this item and the 2 items before that, that when you add all together what we're able to offset, it comes to $3,811,656.52. And that, again, that we're really fortunate that we have a fantastic team doing all the budgeting, and we've had a great year with the A&F committee to be able to make all of this happen for our residents. So I am strongly in favor.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to transfer order of an unexpected bond proceeds totaling $3,660,268.84, originally borrowed for the purposes and under the orders for projects now completed, for which no liability remains, are hereby reappropriated for the purpose of provided funds for acquiring the 289 Derby Street property at $1.4 million, and to reduce the amount previously authorized by City Council on January 19, 2017, for such purpose by a like amount, and for the Canal Street sewer upgrades of $2,260,268.84, and to reduce the amount previously authorized by order of the City Council passed on June 27, 2016, for such purpose by like amount.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Gerard.
Objects.
Councilor Gerard moves the suspension of the rules. We have an objection. Based on our council rules, this particular money matter will be held over to next year. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation of $113,925.05 from Retirement Stabilization Fund Vacation Sick Leave Buyback Account to be expended for fiscal year 2018 contractual buybacks.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Being no objection.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you. This is a routine matter, which we have to say goodbye to these fantastic folks who have been in our school department for years of service, and we want to thank them so much for everything they've done for our schools.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council Girouard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation of $12,000 from the fund balance free cash account to electrical street lighting account.
Council Giroud.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Council Giroud.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is actually because there is a member of the electrical department who is out sick, and this is to cover through January the person who's covering for them, and this is very much so needed.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council Giroud's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for an appropriation of $2,000 from the fund balance free cash account to the planning contracted services account.
Council Giroud.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Council Giroud.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is actually to cover the contracted services for the Green Community Initiative and projects that the Planning Department has been running, and which is a fantastic project that they're doing right now.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council Giroud's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order for a transfer of $2,500 from the elections poll workers account to the elections overtime account.
Council Giroud.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you to our city clerk and our assistant city clerk and everyone who works in the elections office for everything that all of you do throughout the whole year. We couldn't do this without you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council Giroud's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that the City of Salem accepts the provisions of Section 4, Chapter 73 of the Acts of 1986 for fiscal year 2018, and that such additional exemption is granted by 100% of the statutory exemption amounts, provided all other qualifications specified in said Section 4, Chapter 73 of the Acts of 1986 are met.
Council Giroud.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for strong adoption on this.
All right. Under discussion?
Thank you. I'm glad you asked. So this is actually for widows, widows, elderly, veterans, and blind property owners. These are 4 tax exemptions for them. And, you know, we're a city that takes care of our own, and so it's important that we take care of all of our residents, especially the most vulnerable.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council Giroud's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that the City of Salem accepts Mass General Law, Chapter 60, Section 3F, enabling the city to collect voluntary donations to the Veterans Assistance Fund through a designated donation box on the municipal property tax bill of an amount of money which shall increase the amount already due.
Council Giroud.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for strong adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is also something, again, that we as a city, we take care of our own. That I believe there was an article in the paper about it this week this came from Kim Emmerling, and this is, to be exact, it's to provide Salem veterans and their dependents with aid for food, transportation, heat, and oil expenses, and especially, I think we're expecting some snow this weekend, which is starting really early, so maybe not. But these are important necessities for people who have fought hard for us, and so that is why I strongly recommend that we adopt this.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council Giroud's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order that 2018 inauguration and City Council organizational meeting shall take place on Monday, January 1st, 2018 at 10 a.m. at the PBD Essex Museum, 161 Essex Street, Salem, Mass.
Council Giroud.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you to the Peabody Essex Museum. Thank you to the city clerk, to Elaine Talkowski, our special events coordinator, to everyone that works to pull this together. This should be a spectacular inauguration that I hope people can come and enjoy. And there's also going to be an open house at Hotel Salem afterwards.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council Giroud's motion, all those in favor? Excuse me. All those opposed? Matter carries. Excuse me. Mayor's informational page.
Letter from the mayor with her recommendation of setting of the current fiscal year tax rate. The mayor's recommendation for the proposed tax rate is $15.38 for residential and $29.98 for commercial, which will again be under the city's allowable levy limit.
Councilor Duran.
Thank you, Madam President. Before I move this received and filed, can I just make a note that there was a Scribner's error, that it should be $29.97 for the commercial rate? And so with that, I will note that it is received and filed.
Thank you. Councilor Gerard moves that this communication be received and filed. Further, now we have, what do we have? Motions, orders, and resolutions. What are we on, 13?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This is.
That's okay.
Me, I put it behind. Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm looking at the city assessor and make sure that I. Page 6.
Want to make sure we get the right number?
Yeah, I'm going to make sure that I definitely say the right number.
261.
Yes. There it is. You got it. Thank you to everyone that just helped. Hang on 1 second. Let me just write this. Okay. Sorry, thank you. City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017, ordered that the City of Salem adopt a residential factor of 0.867261 for fiscal year 2018. And I move that the City of Salem adopt the residential factor by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
No discussion. I believe the assessor and the mayor gave on the presentation, and everyone asked their questions, so let's go.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
Council Turia.
Yes.
Council Sargent.
Yes.
Council Ryan.
Yes.
Council McCarthy.
Yes.
Council Gerard.
Yes.
Council Fury.
Yes.
Council Famiko.
Yes.
Council Epley.
Yes.
Council Dibble.
Yes.
And Council Milo.
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of adopting the residential factor of 0.867261 for fiscal year 2018, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further motions, orders.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Madam President, I move for immediate reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail.
Councilor Gerard moves for immediate reconsideration. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
The matter does not carry. Now further motions. Councilor
City of
Gerard.
Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017, ordered that the City of Salem not adopt an open space exemption for fiscal year 2018. And I move that this be voted on by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
Okay. Any further discussion? None. Madam Clerk?
Council Turia.
Yes.
Council Sargent.
Yes.
Council Ryan.
Yes.
Council McCarthy.
Yes.
Council Gerard.
Yes.
Council Fury.
Yes.
Council Famiko.
Yes.
Councilor Epley.
Yes.
Councilor Dibble.
Yes.
Councilor Milo.
Yes. On the matter of not adopting an open space exemption for fiscal year 2018, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for immediate reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail.
On Councilor Gerard's motion for immediate reconsideration, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
The matter does not carry. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017, ordered that the City of Salem not adopt a residential exemption for fiscal year 2018. And I move that this be voted on by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio.
Yes.
Counselor Sargent.
Yes.
Counselor Ryan.
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy.
Yes.
Counselor Gerard.
Yes.
Counselor Fury.
Yes.
Counselor Famiko.
Yes.
Counselor Epley.
Yes.
Counselor Dibble.
Yes.
Counselor Milo.
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of not adopting a residential exemption for fiscal year 2018, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Excuse me, the matter carries. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for immediate reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail.
On Councilor Gerard's motion for immediate reconsideration, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
Matter does not carry. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017, ordered that the City of Salem not adopt a small commercial exemption for fiscal year 2018. And I move for a roll call vote, please.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio.
Yes.
Counselor Sargent.
Yes.
Counselor Ryan.
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy.
Yes.
Counselor Gerard.
Yes.
Counselor Fury.
Yes.
Counselor Famiko.
Yes.
Counselor Epley.
Yes.
Counselor Dibble.
Yes.
Counselor Milo.
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of not adopting a small commercial exemption for fiscal year 2018, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for immediate reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail.
Councilor Gerard moves for immediate reconsideration in the hopes that it does not prevail. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
The matter does not carry. Further motions, orders, and resolutions.
It's me.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you. City of Salem in the year 2017, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time, repeal Nursery Street in front of number 11 for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking only tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter. And I move for adoption for first passage.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This actually, the good Ward 1 counselor alluded to this. Normally, we don't identify who the person is and why we need a sign or don't need a sign, but this one in particular, Mrs. Miziak had asked for this for her husband, hoping that he would have gotten better, and it's very unfortunate that he did not, and we are very sorry that we lost Mr. Miziak this year, earlier in November, so this is why we're asking to remove the handicap sign.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion for adoption for first passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. I just have to ask a quick question. I don't want you folks to have to stay here all evening.
Recess?
I didn't see.
1 minute recess?
Do we need anything?
They need to sign, the city councilors need to sign.
All right, can we have just so
Minute
1
recess.
minute?
So moved.
Okay, thank you. We'll take a break. Okay. Okay, is there a motion to go back in session?
So moved.
Okay. We're back in session. Before we go any further in tonight's agenda, we have a bit of a tradition here on the council. And that is, on our last meeting of the year, we say goodbye and good luck to folks who are going to be leaving us, who won't be returning next year. And this year we have 4 folks who won't be returning for various reasons. What I would like to do is wish them all the luck in the world, wherever they go, whatever they do. I would like to thank them for their service to the city, and I would like to present them with a gift. And The 4 counselors we have who are not returning are Counselor Lovely, who is absent tonight, and I'll ask the clerk to make sure that he gets his gift. We have Counselor Famico from Ward 2, Counselor Epley from Ward 4, and we have Counselor Ryan, who serves at large. And I'd like to thank you all and present you with this gift. And of course, if you'd all like to speak, I'm sure we can suspend the rules with no objection. Counselor? Thank you.
I'm Gary Ryan.
There are names on them?
Yeah.
They all look the same.
Testing.
All right.
That was a test, see if you're paying
That was a test.
attention, that's all.
They all look the same. First time for that one.
Except for the writing.
Good thing. Thank you for catching that.
First
So if
time I've
anybody would
been
like to say
Council
anything, now's the time. Counselor Fury.
Madam President, as the Dean of the City Council, it's a collective loss of almost 30 years between all 4 city councilors. Public service is a real high calling. Each of us tries to make a difference. And the good part of this chamber, the second oldest city council in the nation, outside of St. Augustine, with the oldest city hall going, we're lucky to have the caliber and commitment of people like the 4 who are leaving us. Fortunately, we have 4 new councilors who are in the chambers tonight, watching us and having a transition. That's what democracy is all about, a smooth transition. And we're very lucky to have the 4 new city councilors in the chambers tonight, and we'll have a workshop on Saturday to address some of the concerns in the future. But public service is a high calling. And I know, as the Dean of the City Council, 32 years of experience, I've lost twice the school committee and once running for Ward 4 councilor against the Dean of the City Council. So it's not easy losing, but it's a great commendation and commemoration to each individual to put their name on the ballot. I think in my 32 years of elective office, this was the best ballot, the clearest choices that we've had in my 32 years in the ward basis, and for the mayor, and for the referendum on Sanctuary City. We had 41% turnout, democracy voted, and we were very lucky to have those choices. And I wish to commend and congratulate and wish the best. But most of all, I wish to commend and congratulate the families that are involved, that support you, that are the wind beneath your wings. I see Chad in the audience tonight, Councilor Epley, and they are the wind beneath our wings, family. For the sacrifice they do and what they give to allow us the opportunity to be here. I have 5 adopted sons, and I thank you very much, Chad, for allowing us to have Dave over the years. And wish you and Dave a great future, and I'm glad you had a great vacation after the election. It was a very difficult election for all of us there. And to each and every one of you, I wish you the best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to rise and thank my colleagues that are departing. It's not easy this time of the year, especially as you get to the holidays and things happen. But I think Councilor Fury hit it. We as a collective group spend a lot of time together in this room, outside this room, at events. This is, in all due respect, becomes an extended family for everybody. For the time that you serve, and from there on, I know that when I see each one of these individuals out and about in the community, because they're not going anywhere, they're still going to live here, they're still going to they're still going to contribute. I know that I will always address them as counselor. It's just one of those things because I've had the pleasure to serve with them. Each one of them has challenged me in some way and kept me on my toes and kept what we do in this room alive. There are 4 unique individuals that I'm sorry to see go, and as was referenced, we have 4 new individuals that are going to replace them, and that's the unknown. That's what happens. But I just want to thank them, and I want to really thank their families, because the time they spend with us is time away from them. And, the former dean, my good friend, Councilor O'Keefe, always taught me, it's family first. And he really meant that. His family was always first in his mind. But I can distinctly remember, and I had the pleasure of doing that this year, was the first event I went to 12 years, 13, whatever, how long ago it was, it seems like forever, was the first, I was newly elected. It was the Veterans Day event up at the high school, and I showed up and I was sitting in the back. It's like, okay, you gotta get, you get elected, you gotta do your thing. And I went up to Councilor-elect Flynn and I said, I'm gonna extend you the same favor that was extended to me by Councilor Keefe 12 years ago. You're one of us now. You're elected. You're up in the front with us. And because you become part of this family. And it's tough when you let family members go, but they're not going far. And I just once again want to thank them and their families for their service to this community and to this body. They served us well. And I consider all of them friends, and I hopefully will, they still have my cell phone number. They still know how to get a hold of me, and they still know how to challenge me. And when we're debating something, they still know they can call me and say, hey, I don't know if you thought about this, but you might want to consider this on this issue. And I really do extend that to all of them, and I really want to thank them for their service and wish them all the best.
Thank you. Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Madam President, and thanks for all those kind words. So I guess I'm retiring at 31, just one year shy of the good dean's reign on the public service thus far. I think I'll be carrying on, though, since everyone mistakes me for Councilor Gerard out and about. They'll think I'm her and back and forth, so I guess I'm continuing in that terms. But just thank you to you all for handling my questioning and my inquisitive nature in those terms. I know I'm quirky, so thank you for that. And also my family throughout the whole process who got to see a lot of neighborhoods, knock on a lot of doors, and a lot of loss of sleep. But also extend that to friends and community members. I can tell you I've had friends, whether it's counting cars, measuring streets, going into shops, they've been part of this process, whether they like it or not. Sometimes they're the models that they have to actually be the people walking across. And so thank you to that. And also the community members you meet along the way, people with different expertise, those are the boards and commissions, but also those that call you for their neighborhood concerns or input on things that you never even thought about. And some of that, it goes into the things you never thought about, the things you learn on the council and the people that you're taking over, whether it's utilities underground, the processes and how things, I would say, operate, not necessarily always how they work. But it's just been a tremendous opportunity. I love the history of this room in general, the second oldest city hall. I'm only around the corner. I have the shortest commute here. And just thank you for the opportunity, and looking forward to seeing you all outside of this chamber more so. Thank you.
Councilor Turia.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll just say, and in chambers, in our normal way of doing business, we address each other very indirectly. We refer to each other as counselor or the good word, the good word to counselor, however. In this case, I'm going to do things a little bit differently because I know all these people who are leaving, and I've interacted with them on many different levels over the years. But in the case, so I'll deviate from that particular tradition and just cite a couple things. In our real life outside of this chamber, Heather's one of the closest friends that my wife and I have, and hangs out at our house, and we do things with her all the time, even though sometimes when we go at it back and forth on something in here, you wouldn't know that, but once you walk out of here, you're different people, and I think that's really important. Dave has been referred to by many, including myself, as my brother from another mother, and having us sitting next to each other these last couple of years makes it more, this last year makes it more difficult to tell us apart. So he's been he's a wonderful friend, and and his husband Chadwick, who's here, is just a great person, and they've been terrific advocates and good friends for a number of years now. And I got to know Dave when his first attempt at public office, back when he was running for governor's council, and became a good friend of his then. Jerry has been somebody that the first day that I came onto the city council, the beginning of 2012, he was one of the first people to kind of take me under his wing and help me learn the way things were done. And I remember things like, I remember working with him on projects. I remember trying to help him find his wedding ring in the parking lot at Dead Horse Beach one time. And
Found it.
you found it, and playing basketball, with him, and getting our tails handed to us by the kids over at Plummer. And Steve, who's not here tonight, I remember a few years ago going in and and helping this when he went into his practice with his kids. I remember going in and helping get the office set up, wearing my day job hat. So there's all sorts of things, and these people are all people outside of what they are here in the chamber. And I just, I thought I wanted to shine a little bit of light on that. These are all good people who are going on to other things.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I also rise. I've made 4 good friends. I'm the only rookie on the council over the last 2 years, and I'm looking forward to the 4 new members joining this council. So I'll no longer be the rookie, if you would. We'll have 4 rookies. But sitting beside the good Ward 2 councilor, I couldn't have found a better person to give me advice along the way. I've known her, actually, I think I held her when she was born, but I've known her since she was a very young little girl, for a few years anyway, and it's been a privilege to Councilor Famico for receiving your guidance along the way. And the same to Councilor Lovely, Councilor Ryan, and Councilor Epley. I think we'll always be friends, and I appreciate all the advice that the entire council has given me. But to these 4, thank you. As of a couple weeks from now, I'm happy to say I'm no longer the rookie.
Councilor Giray.
Thank you, Madam President. I guess I'm just going to echo the same sentiments that my colleagues have, that it's really been such a pleasure and an honor to be serving with all of you, and it's been fantastic even debating you and learning more and more about the city that I continually grow to love even more. And so I appreciate everything that you've done on the council, and I will definitely see you around. And of course I'm going to see Jerry, since we're in the same neighborhood, and I know your mom. So I can get tabs on you. If I don't see you, I'll check up with you through your mom. And I run with your sister, so I'm a big Team Ryan fan. So, but yes, and big Team Famico, and big Team Epley fan, and Team Lovely fan. So, yeah, thank you all so much, and have a fantastic rest of your holidays, and enjoy breathing at night again.
Councilor Ryan.
I just want to say thank you. I love serving on the council. I love being involved. My youngest son wasn't even born when I first got on the council. I got on in January 2008. He was born January 25th. So the whole 10 years, this has been our life running around. Even tonight, they were at a concert. I was here. So sad to leave, but I'm glad I'll get to spend more time with my family. I won't be missing those events anymore. If I get an urge to maybe turn on the TV and watch you guys next year, I doubt it, but but it's been interesting. Each council is different. I've been on 4 terms, and every single one of them is different. And it's good to have new blood coming in, because new ideas come in, a different mix. And the city just keeps moving forward. And I just appreciate everything. And I just think of one thing, when I was first trying to get on the council, I've lost 3 times. I ran in 2001, Councilor at Largo, I lost 2013, and I lost the last election, but I won 4 times, so I'm 4-3. I've asked questions when I first went to go on the council. I asked former Councilor Swiniak. I was like, I don't think I'm qualified. We watched these things. I'm like, this is so procedural. This stuff. I was like, I don't think I'm qualified to be on there. And he said to me, he goes, can you breathe? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're qualified. And then what Vinny Ferraro. He said one time, he goes, I had to leave the council due to illness. I'm like, what, you were sick? He's like, yeah, the voters were sick of me. They voted me out. Leave it at that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Sargent.
Oh, Madam President, I'd like to thank all the councilors that are leaving, and any councilors that have served for their service to the city. It really is an honor to represent your hometown, in any endeavor, sports, politics, city council. It's just a neat thing, and I'm thankful that people are willing to get involved, and that's one of the greatest things about this city. There's a long line of people willing to get involved and willing to volunteer and willing to pitch in, no matter what happens around the city. And thank their families also, because time served is time borrowed from your family. There's only 24 hours in a day. The time you give to public service is time borrowed from your family, especially your children. And I suppose a pessimist would say that you lost an election, But an optimist would say your family won a great victory because they have you back again and they have that time back again. You know, many will sit in your seats and our seats after we're gone. Many have served before us, but we sit here tonight, the link between every city council who ever served and everyone who ever will serve, and that chain hasn't been broken. Every year there's somebody here willing to do the work. The faces change, but the chairs stay the same, and the dignity of the body stays the same, and the service to the city stays the same. So someone else will sit in your chair, but nobody else will be you. They won't do it like you. They won't have the style you have. They'll have their own unique style. You can't be replaced, and that's a just an unbelievable thing that you were willing to do that. But there won't be another council like you guys. You know, I say someone can serve where you served, sit where you sat, go to the meetings you went to, but nobody will do it like you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to start to say that probably the smartest person in the room is the Ward 2 councilor, because she chose not to run this year, to retire on her own terms. And I want to say good luck to the councilors-elect. It is a good job. It's a fun job. It's a challenging job. I really want to commend the councilors-elect for attending all of the meetings, both the last two city council meetings, as well as a couple of the special public hearings that took place, which involved all the city councilors. I also want to commend Councilor Ryan and Councilor Formico. I won't pat myself too much on the back, but the three of us, since the election, have been here and have gone for the full, we're here to work until the end of our term. And I will say, and I'm disappointed that the Ward 3 councilor chose not to do that. Since the election, he hasn't been here, and that's disappointing to Ward 3 and I think to the city. I'm just a citizen temporarily in public service. Ronald Reagan said this about himself in his 1970 run for re-election as California's governor. All of us at these desks should really hold this quotation close to us, because these are not our seats. There were scores and hundreds of counselors before us, and likely there are going to be hundreds after us. We're just a steward for this seat for the very short time that we have the honor of serving. As a side note, I always thought that the word seat, which my actual seat is broken. I don't know why, but it's actually in the anteroom. So Tim, well, I'm sure that it will be fixed by the time that the January rolls around. But I always thought that the word seat for a legislative position was such an unfortunate term. Not because it might remind the public that politicians can sometimes be rear ends, but no, because a seat connotes sitting comfortably. They should be legislative stands, in my opinion. Standing for this position or standing up for this person or group of people. Leaders should generally stand, not sit. Oh, well, we're stuck with the term seat, so let's move on. There are 4 new neighbors that are going to be taking their seats in just a few weeks, and I wish each and every one of them nothing but the best. I will not be joining them, as the voters of Salem decided that I was to be the runner-up in the at-large race just 30 days ago. While I might be personally disappointed in my results, I absolutely, completely respect and honor the choices that the voters made that day. I'm especially proud and satisfied with the results of the yes on one question, with a 57% to 43% result among those voting on the measure. I've had my 4 years in office as the councilor for Ward 4. I've been honored by this privilege, and I won't forget it. But it's time for others to serve. You will not see me run again for public office. Not out of any dislike for service or for Salem, but again, it's time for others. I don't want to think myself as a zombie candidate, always trying to come back from the political dead. I take Reagan's words to heart on this. You basically get one shot. I'm very proud of the shots that I've taken over the past 4 years. I got to co-sponsor and vote on our city's non-discrimination policy. I helped host the city's first opiate addiction summit. I was the first administrative and finance chair to televise all of our budget hearings in an effort to make our work as transparent and as accessible as possible to the public. I helped found the Lorax Task Force, which I wish I could have talked about earlier tonight. I also helped launch the Sanctuary for Peace Ordinance. I'm very proud of all of that, and I do not have any regrets, not one. During my 4 years, I have fought for what I thought was right for Salem and for Ward 4, after considering what both experts and the affected communities had to offer. My colleagues agreed with me and or disagreed with me, and that was perfectly fine. There were some of my closely held values that came in conflict at times with some of my colleagues. Perhaps the most frustrating came from my perception, and I still believe the majority of Salem residents' perception, of what is a part of good government, what's a part of transparency, and what's a part of fair procedures within this body. I hope that the new council, with its new composition, reconsiders some thoughtful revisions to the governing rules of this body, not the least of which ensures that no subcommittee majority can hold up ordinances in committee indefinitely. That was a complete disservice to this body and to the constituents that we all aim to serve. Secondly, there should be a codified rule ensuring that each councilor is assigned to one major committee and at least one minor committee. That made this year particularly and unnecessarily partisan when it could have been entirely avoided at the beginning. Enough of this inside baseball and on to the more substantive points, and I'm short, it's just very short. I challenge the next council to take on the following issues and push the administration in this next term. On number 1, a wage theft ordinance. Number 2, reviewing Salem's public housing authority and encouraging the development of a public housing resident association to advocate on behalf of the residents. Our residents there currently have no voice. And number 3, a significant increase in affordable housing stock. 3 incumbents and 1 new councilor were endorsed by the North Shore Labor Council, and all of them, plus several of the rest of you, should be on board with the wage theft ordinance and the affordable housing issues. The Public Housing Authority is something that has been ignored by councilors for too long, and those residents are our constituents too. Some words of advice to the soon-to-be councilors. Use every moment. Use every moment you can to forward what you wish to accomplish. Don't waste any time. And also, don't take the answer, that's just the way we've always done it. Don't take that as the right or especially the final answer. Challenge it if it doesn't make sense to you. Despite my best efforts, I'm sure I've not followed this standard strictly, but Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gives all of us in public service this final challenge. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Where do you stand, my colleagues and councilors-elect? Be bold, be honest, be leaders next term. Don't be comfortable or take the convenient route. What's next for me? I get to be a civilian. Working at my day job a little bit more, seeing my husband a little bit more, and rediscovering the concept of what's called free time. Undoubtedly, my public service will continue in some unofficial ways to yet be determined, but suffice to say that you have not seen or heard the last from me. And I hope that that's a good thing. All the best to you and to Salem in 2018.
Councilor Fury.
Yes, please. As Dean of the City Council, it's my privilege and pleasure to recognize the role and the responsibility that you have played, Madam President, in this year. The role and the responsibility of the City Council President is to choose the chair people of the different committees, the committee assignments, and set the tone and direction of this very august and historic chamber. I'm reading a book about President Grant and what type of president he was and general he was, and lo and behold, right in our council chambers is Sheldon, one of his key advisors, Sheridan. So this is a very august chamber, second oldest in the country, active, and we're very lucky to serve. It's not our seat, it's the people's seat. And you have fulfilled a wonderful obligation. When I was council president back in 2003, it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. The city council as a chamber, as a tradition, as a legacy. You provided leadership and integrity to that office. And I wish to commend and congratulate you for setting that tone and climate to make it possible to where we are tonight. We've had major issues at the Council on Aging, issues of the sanctuary city, marijuana zoning, new district court down the street, housing, and the RCG project in Raleigh Plaza, and a host of other projects. You've handled it very well, Madam President. And I wish to present to you on behalf of a very proud and happy city councilor to request and say thank you to on behalf of a very thankful city council. Madam President? Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm going to say a couple things. First of all, thank you to everyone. I know that it has been challenging through the year. You're you're a group of very strong personalities. And you've challenged me. You've made me a better person. And I think when I go back next year and I sit on the floor, I'll be a better counselor because of it. Counselor Fury, I'd like to thank you once again for encouraging me to run for this position. It was definitely a growing experience. I'd like to think that I did contribute something. I enjoyed it. I don't think there was a moment up here that I was not out of my comfort zone, and we all know that that's a way to grow. And I'm looking forward to the next council next year. I wish the councilors-elect all the best coming in, and I'm going to really miss my colleagues leaving. Thank you. Okay. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Fumiko.
City of Salem in the year 2017, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time, Forester Street in front of number 2 Forester Street, for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter. I move for adoption for first passage.
Under discussion? No discussion? On Councilor Fumiko's motion for adoption for first passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Sargent.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, in the year 2017, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Barton Street, in front of number 13.5 Barton Street for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking only tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter. Move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Oh, very little discussion. An elderly woman called about this, and Lieutenant Pasuski was very fast and very gracious about getting this done, and I thank the parking board for getting it through, and here we are. Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none on Councilor Sargent's motion for adoption for first passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Turio.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, year 2017, ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic. Be it ordained by City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Laurel Street, northerly side, starting at point 20 feet west of Hazel and continuing in a westerly direction for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking only tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter. And I move for adoption for first passage.
Any discussion?
Just briefly, we have two of these. They're not interrelated. One is this one is actually for a house that is around the corner on Hazel Street, but this is the only place to provide access to it.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none on Councilor Turio's motion for adoption for first passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Turio.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, year 2017, ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Laurel Street in front of 19.5 Laurel Street for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking only tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter, and I move for adoption for first passage.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. Briefly, this is this handicap space is being placed because of issues with parking with other vehicles that are blocking access to the house entirely. So they have a handicap sticker, and the lieutenant took a look and talked to them, and this is the best solution to this problem they have.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none on Council Terrio's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, in the year 2017, an amendment, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic being ordered that by the City Council, City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 13, service zones, Lafayette Street in front of number 163 Lafayette, Levesque Funeral Home, no parking, service zone, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., funeral service vehicles only. This ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter.
Adoption?
Move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Briefly, the funeral home tends to be the practices in most funeral homes. They tend to put out cones in order to limit parking in front of, when they have services going on. Unfortunately, that section of Lafayette Street's become very busy, and it's been an increased problem that they haven't been able, there's been vehicles parked, and it's interrupting the flow in a very dignified way when people are trying to, move family members, along. So they asked for this, and so consultant with Lieutenant Brzezinski felt it was a good idea, and he also limited the hours to basically when they have services in the morning and also when they have wakes at night. So it still provides off-street parking at night as long as the people, they get home a little after the service is over, they can park, and as long as they're vacated before the, in the morning. So this comes with his recommendation, so I move for approval.
Any further discussion? Councilor D'Amico.
Yes, this through you, just a question for this. Is this 7 days a week, and also what's the distance for this one? Because we have for distances for handicap, but what span of street are we talking about?
It is 7 days a week, and it is for directly in front of the funeral home. I don't know the particular distances. It's usually, it's usually, I hate to say this out loud, but it's usually when the curb's painted yellow, people usually tend to pay attention to the fact that the curb's painted yellow, but we all, as stewards of ordinances, realize the fact that sometimes a yellow curb doesn't come with an ordinance that backs it up, and so people park there. And unfortunately, unless there's a service zone actually created or a limited time zone, that it's not enforceable by ordinance. But it's not the whole length of the street. It's just for those 1 or 2 spots directly in front of the funeral home.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion on Councilor McCarthy's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Committee reports. Councilor Ryan.
City Council, December 7, 2017, Committee on Ordinance and Legal Affairs, to whom is referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
Not going to read it?
Waive the reading. Waive.
I'm going to read it.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Giroux.
Okay, got a few here.
Yes, you do.
City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017, the Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of accepting the Mass General Law, Chapter 64N, Section 3, which allows cities to impose local sales tax on marijuana products, has considered said matter and would recommend approval, and I move for adoption by roll call vote.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This was a discussion that we had on Tuesday night with the following committee report that I'm going to give, that pretty much right off the bat we agreed that we wanted to accept the concept of beginning to allow the city to impose the tax for this product. So,
thank you.
So we did.
Any further discussion? On Councilor Giroux's motion for a roll call vote, can I see 3 hands? Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Councilor Terrio?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Ryan?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Giroux?
Yes.
Councilor Fiore?
Yes.
Councilor D'Amico?
Yes.
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Gibbon?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of imposing a 3% tax for the sale or transfer of marijuana products, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Girai.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017. The Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of the City of Salem imposing a local tax of 3% per Mass General Law, Chapter 64N, Section 3 for marijuana products. Has considered said matter and would recommend approval with the recommendation that funds generated go towards offsetting the tax rate. And I move for adoption by roll call vote as well.
And the discussion?
Thank you, Madam President.
Oh, wait a minute. Do we accept the report?
Oh, I'm sorry.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation? Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. This was the second step that, per Mass General Law, that as a city we are allowed to impose a tax of up to 3%, and so the committee voted wholeheartedly to vote for the full 3%, and it was recommended and supported by the committee that we recommend that the monies generated from this, however much there will be, that they go towards offsetting our tax rate.
Thank you. Councilor McCarthy.
If I may, the caveat is it's a recommendation of the mayor that she does that. There's no strings attached that it has to be that way. That was the way it came out of committee. That was the recommendation. I mean, obviously, there's a big unknown here, what kind of monies we're talking about generating. And obviously, as we've seen earlier tonight, any type of money that comes into the general fund is obviously can be used to offset the tax rate, as we just saw the $1.something million that we just used to offset. Because at this point, not even knowing what the makeup of the money could be, we had this discussion in committee, and I'll be brief, was is the unknown. Is not we have no idea A, how much it is, and B, at this point, without knowing how much it is, to sit here and try to earmark where specific parts of it will go is a difficult discussion. But at this point, the discussion is just that we're going to implement up to 3%, and then obviously with a recommendation that the mayor consider using it to offset the property tax rate. But at that point, that all comes out during the budget process. So, and without the big unknown is we don't even know what we're talking about for money wise. So it's a discussion that's we're going to have, but we can't have right now. But it's more what's in front of us is to up to the 3%.
Any further discussion?
So moved.
Seeing none, Councilor Girai, you recommended a roll call vote?
Yes, please.
Okay, can I see 3 hands? Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Councilor Terrio?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Ryan?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Girai?
Yes.
Councilor Fieri?
Yes.
Councilor Famico?
Yes.
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Dibble?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of accepting Mass General Law, Chapter 64N, Section 3, to allow the city to impose a local sales tax for sale or transfer of marijuana, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Girai.
Thank you again, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017. The Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation of $265,000 from capital outlay equipment to purchase office equipment. Has considered said matter and would recommend approval, and I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Okay. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. So this was a great discussion that we had with what's informally known as the Annex team. So it was Dominic Pangalo, the Chief of Staff. We also had Laurie Giardella, our Finance Director, Jamie Colon, the Acting Purchasing Director, I believe Mike Luchakowski, as well as Matt Killen for the next matter that I'm going to discuss. And we also had Mark Mesh from Winter Street Architects provide a detailed presentation, including the types of materials that were going to be used to purchase the equipment. And as of today, all city councilors should have received a copy of the whole rundown of everything that the $265,000 is going towards. And as we discussed in committee, that this is the money that they're asking for just so that they can at least go out to to bid. And so we all felt strongly that this was a good thing. And one of the big questions that had come up was about sit-stand desks, and sit-stand desks are already included in the bid. So.
Thank you. Any further? Councilor Famiko.
Yes, Madam President. I wasn't a member of this committee, and I'm thankful that this was actually heard by the committee. Going into it, I had some concerns about the furniture that was being purchased. I will say I'm quite pleased with some of the materials. It has some fun, funky look for the different places, but I will say we also did receive what we'd be purchasing with this. Unfortunately, it wasn't until after 8 a.m. this morning. I'm not able to really look at that during the day. But with this in general, yes, it says there sit-to-stand are available. I would like to actually make an amendment that all work desk ordered shall be sit-stand and power adjusted. And that's because later on, if they need to have more funding, they can come back before the council to request that. But a big part for that, Madam President, is that in workplace environments now, we have all different people. In Salem, as I mentioned when this initially came in, we have Salem for all ages, and we have all different types. And with that, during the committee meeting, I mentioned I'm 5'3". The good counselor to my right is 6'2". If you're going to adjust a desk for that, even sitting down, people are oftentimes working at the wrong height, whether it's for their knees or their wrists and whatnot. I think if we're putting this amount of appropriation into a building, then we should be doing it right from the start and just making it that they have that requirement. It was mentioned during the meeting that if they aren't able to get the ones that automatically go up and down, that you can fix the height yourself, but that fixing actually means taking off the top of your desk and latching it in. And in the case of our annex, everyone has desktop computers and not laptops. So what does that mean? You take off your desktop, put it down, and adjust it. I just think we really need to be looking into the health benefits of this and to make sure, even if you're sitting or standing or going up and down, that we have that ability. And if more funding is needed, then they'll come back. And I also note, Madam President, for this, yes, there were discussions for this, but part of the very agreement that this body agreed to was to have this working group. And unfortunately, that was also to discuss the layout and design. That hasn't met in over 6 months, so that's during that time that these decisions were made. So I find that a little bit troublesome, and that we could have alleviated a lot of these problems with that. And also going into that, just hoping that the meeting room layouts are fixed up. That was also brought up about 6 months ago, and as of 2 weeks ago, they still didn't know the correct amount of chairs for our boards and commissions, which I think is a major problem. So, Madam President, if I may, could I move to amend to make it that all work desks shall be sit-to-stand with power adjustable heights? I'd like to make that motion, and if it passes, so be it. And if not.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay. Any discussion? Councilor Giray.
Thank you, Madam President. This is something that we did discuss at length in the committee, and overall, actually it was unanimous that the committee agreed that we would not include these stipulations in our approval of this funding because it is already part of it, and they're going to do everything that they can, and we don't want to hold them to a standard that they can't necessarily meet if something else should come up. If something goes wildly outside of whatever is budgeted, we want them to be able to get what works. And as we had some other, it was actually a member of the public that had commented on this and mentioned that roughly 30% of his work that his staff uses sit-stand desks. It's not a large portion. I know in my own personal office, 2 people out of 10 of us use 20% use sit-stand desks. So this isn't a big number of people, and so we don't want to hold up the bidding process. That's part of what is the big concern, and that is something that we had discussed at our last time that we met for our last full council meeting in November, is that we don't want to hold up the bidding process any further. We want them to be able to go out to bid and to get the best prices possible. And so we, again, as the committee, when we took our vote, we voted to just vote for the funding at the 265 with no other amendments or stipulations.
Councilor Famiko.
Thank you, Madam President. And I know I don't want to hold things up either, but I think this, as I mentioned before, this is one of those cases that something's coming in towards the end that, like, as I mentioned, could have been fixed had it been in the beginning, and that later on it can add extra appropriations for it. And also, as far as the 30% part, some people, it's different times of the day that they go up and down, but the way it currently works is if you have the option, or if you luck out to be a new employee and get that type of working environment, then you luck out. Otherwise, in order to get such an accommodation, it's going to a doctor's and getting a note from the doctors. And at that point, the budget has to find money because it becomes a disability. And to retrofit something or to get it later on, it's actually more money. And that's more money for even the healthcare cost of having that process, but also it's more money to retrofit and buy it later. So it might be 30%, but then that's depending on where you are and when you're new and when you're not. You don't even necessarily even have that sick time to go to the doctor to get that note, to get what you need. So I just rather now do it right from the beginning. And if I have the second for that, move on it, put it to the will of the body. We have our committees, but we also have the larger body that votes on it. And personally, if that does not pass, I will not be voting on this appropriation because it's such a large amount of money, and I think we owe it to not only the people that work here, but to the city if we're putting in a new building to actually do it as we should be. And I consider that as it should be because it's general practice in most other work environments. Thank you, Madam President.
Councilor
Move the
Terry.
question.
Second.
For the amendment.
On the amendment.
Councilor Fury.
Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I understand we want to move a question, but I have to say that I support Councilor Famico's amendment. We're spending $10 million over 20 years across the street for that lease, and we're going to be paying 70% of the taxes on it while we're there. There are a number of city workers who will be over there. We're going to be there for 20 years. These sit-stand desks are not a fad. They've been out for a while. They've been tested. And I think that, we always talk a lot about being, looking to the future and, taking care of or looking to what might be anticipated in terms of challenges. I think if, well, I don't want to micromanage. I don't think this is an issue of micromanaging. I think it's I think, we heard Councilor Epley earlier this evening, stand up for what you believe in. I believe in treating our employees as well as any other public company or any private company treats them, especially in terms of when we're talking about health issues. And this really does relate back to a health issue. Some people do need to stand, other people do need to sit, and some people need to go, they need both. From what I can see, it doesn't sound like it's an exorbitant amount of money that is gonna be spent here. We have the option, or the city has the option of coming back to us to ask for a supplemental. I'd be perfectly happy to support that going forward, but I'm in support of this amendment.
Thank you. Councilor McCarthy, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Being a member of the committee and also participating in the conversation which we had about this issue, all these matters were addressed. It was made abundantly clear by the committee to the process. Now, this isn't about, no one in this room is denying anybody who works for the city of Salem their ability to have an up-down desk or whatever they're called. It's fine. We brought this out of the committee. What it's about a procurement process. We're procuring a number right here, okay? And as I stated in the committee meeting, I'll state tonight, the way the city government works, it works backwards. We authorize a number, and then it goes out to bid. So if we put restrictions or we put caveats on what it is, what we're doing is we're limiting our ability to be competitive. We all know in this room, and we've made it clear to the administration and to the finance team and to the architect that was here the other night, that this is what we want. But if we put a caveat on that and say this is what we want, what we've done is we've limited our ability, because instead of the XYZ companies that will be bidding this process to have option A and option B to include this, which we want. What you've done is you've thrown the option A out the window and you've basically made it so that you have to go to the more expensive option, which I'm not saying we shouldn't do, that we all agreed with that, but by doing that, we've interjected ourselves into the procurement process in the bid process. That's not this body's objective. I understand this body's objective is to make sure that the money gets spent properly and gets spent for what we want. We made it clear during the committee meeting, I had a conversation with the mayor and myself personally, that this is what people want. Okay? That's the way that this body conducts business. So once the business is taken care of and it goes out to bid, then we're allowed to negotiate to make sure we get the things we want at the best price. But by going in and putting a caveat on this before you go into the process, you've already backed yourself into a corner where you can't negotiate for the best price. You can't say, well, you bid it this way, we want this, so therefore, because of the way the procurement laws are written for the city, which are totally different than if I was a company, I could walk to XYZ office supply company and say, that's the desk I want. You can't do that as you're a city. You have to say, we want a desk that meets these specifications. This was all explained to us during the process, and I commend everyone for wanting to make sure that our workers are protected. I agree with that. But at the same time you have to take a step back and allow the process to happen and allow it to work and be resolved with the fact that we've gone to that step. We've told everyone that was in the room that night that we prefer those desks, but it's because it was asked if we'd like a list of the desks and the cost. I didn't want that, because as soon as that becomes in front of us, it's a matter of public record, and therefore anybody who's bidding, going to go out and bid for all the furniture that's coming to us, could have access to that. It's like working backwards. They know what our number is. They need to figure out how they're going to get to that number. So as I applaud everyone for trying to be conscious, it is a lot of money, but the other thing too is that you have to realize is this is a turnkey operation. This is for us to buy, for them to install, for them to get everything up and running. It isn't just, this number isn't just for furniture, it's for total complete setup. So when our employees move over, the only thing they're moving over is the phone system's going to be ready to plug in. They're just moving their phones and their computers. So I applaud everyone's concerns, but this was all brought out during the meeting. We made it abundantly clear this is what we want, but by putting a caveat on it, you're limiting our ability outside of this room, which is involved in the office I'm looking for, the purchasing department, in order for them to put it out to bid and then negotiate after the low bid is in there. So I wholeheartedly agree with what everyone's saying, but I also want people to realize is we need to stay focused on what we're here. We're here to procure the money and let the purchasing department, we've made it clear, and all the departments have made it clear what it is that we want. So I can't, as much as I want to, I support the intent, but I don't support adding it to the order.
Thank you.
Move the question.
The hour is getting late. Councilor Famico?
I know the hour is getting late, Mr. President. I also asked for 2 meetings in December. But for whenever you put procurement, you can say what you want and what you don't want, and then that's where it goes. And I'm saying that we should specify that's what we want in the procurement purchase. Not that, oh, if it works out with the numbers, great. I'm saying we can specify it, and when they put it out to bid, they can specify that's what we want. And that happens for procurements at the state level as well, that you can put out specifications of what you're looking for, then they meet those specifications. It's not that we want a desk, and if by chance this option's available, we're saying we want this particular option for part of our order, and you make it. Just to specify for that. I'll put for the will of the body now for this order. Done speaking. Thank you, Mr. President.
So voting now on the amendment by Councilor Famico, seconded by Councilor Dibble. There, may I ask for a roll call vote because this is an appropriation. And
Well, this is an amendment to the appropriate.
may I ask for a roll call vote on the amendment?
On the amendment?
Please, if I may.
Roll call vote on the
Roll call vote.
On the
On the
amendment.
amendment.
So moved.
So moved.
For your hands.
A roll call vote. I see 3 hands. Thanks on the request of the President, Council President acting. Roll call vote, Madam City Clerk, please, on Councilor Famico's amendment, seconded by Councilor Dibble.
Councilor Terrio?
No.
Councilor Sargent?
No.
Councilor Ryan?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
No.
Counselor Gerard?
No.
Counselor Fury?
No.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Thank you. 10 members voting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 present. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against. It does not carry.
Not 5 present.
5 tie. Tie vote.
Does not carry.
Use it
Doesn't carry.
Doesn't pass.
Madam Clerk, on a 5-5 vote on this amendment, would it carry?
Be a majority, so the 5-5 vote does not pass.
Does not carry?
Correct.
Thank you. Let's go. Council President?
They move immediate, immediate reconsideration. I move immediate reconsideration. I hope it does not prevail.
Move immediate reconsideration on the amendment. Yeah.
I know, we got a roll call vote, we might as well do that. Okay.
Counselor Sargent moves for reconsideration.
Hope it
Under
does
the-
not prevail.
In the hopes it does not.
Sorry?
In hopes it does not prevail.
In the hopes that it does not prevail. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
Matter does not carry.
I think we had-
Now we're going to vote on the appropriation, correct?
Yes.
Roll call vote, Madam President.
I already asked for roll call vote.
Counselor Gerard asked for roll call. Did we see 3 hands? Okay. Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
No.
Counselor Epley?
No.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
No. On the matter of a $265,000 appropriation from capital outlay equipment to purchase office equipment for the City Hall Annex, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 7 in the affirmative, 3 in the negative. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Counselor Duran.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017. The Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation of $93,000 from capital outlay equipment for purchase audio, visual, and IT equipment, has considered said matter and would recommend approval and move for adoption by roll call vote.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This was the other part of the appropriation for City Hall Annex. This is for the IT and the audiovisual equipment, and as what was described by Matt Killen, our IT director, he has been working closely with SATV so that they will have a live feed hooked up to the meeting room, so that it'll no longer be taped meetings. You will be able to watch those meetings. Anything that happens, usually that happens at 1:20, will be happening at 90, and they will be happening live, or they will be on SAT Live. And so the committee, again, supported this wholeheartedly.
Any other discussion? Councilor Dill.
Thank you, Madam President. I simply would like to say and give credit to our chairperson, the Ward 6 councilor. This being, I think, the last issue.
Nope.
Yeah, she has another issue, but this is the last committee matter that we discussed. And over the last year, we have had countless meetings in administration and finance. And I think our Ward 6 councilor has done an excellent job, and I just want to point that out. So congratulations, you did a great job this whole year. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Councilor Gerard requested a roll call vote. Please raise your hand. Okay, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Council Gerard?
Yes.
Council Fury?
Yes.
Council Famiko?
Yes.
Council Epley?
Yes.
Council Dibble?
Yes.
Council Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of appropriation of $93,000 for the purchase of IT equipment, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017. The Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of carrying matters forward into 2018, has considered the said matter and would recommend that Rule 31B be suspended and the attached matters are carried forward. So we have, thanks, okay. There's a number of things that we're keeping going forward, including the finance reports from this fiscal year, and there were a few other matters that were brought forward as well. But as my final act as Chair of Administration and Finance, thank you to my committee. Thank you to everyone for all your input. This has been an incredible part of this whole City Council journey, so thank you.
On acceptance of the report?
Oh yeah, can we accept the report? I move for acceptance of the report.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed, on adoption of the recommendation, under discussion. Councilor McCarthy?
No discussion on that?
No? Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
All those in, Councilor McCarthy?
As soon as you're done. As soon as we're done, I got something to say,
Okay,
if I can.
alrighty. On Councilor Gerard's motion for adoption, all those in favor, all those opposed, the matter carries. Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Madam President. If I could, I just have a brief moment of personal privilege. I just want to rise and thank the Chair of Finance for her due diligence this year. It was not too long ago that I sat, when I was council president, and Grasshopper was, Grasshopper, as I affectionately called her, was sitting with her budget book in her highlighters, in her pens, and everything she had. And we sat over there during her first budget meeting, and I kind of sat there as president and not being part of the committee, just kind of off to the side. And she had everything. She had colors, and she was, I was like, oh, what is going on? And it was, she asked a lot of thoughtful questions, and I sat next to her, and I kind of pointed things out to her, and that was a long time ago.
I
was chair. And,
4 years.
yeah, it was 4 years ago. And I just want to say that I was, as a veteran counselor then who took a few minutes to spend some time and sit next to her and kind of show her the ropes a little bit, and to see 4 years later, to see the job that she did as chair of the committee, I was wholeheartedly impressed, and I want to thank her for her service. She did a wonderful job this year, and she kept us on point, and she really took the reins of it, and she did a great job, and I want to thank her for it.
Thank you. Councilor Fury?
It's a joy to sit next to Councilor and this year, real joy. I'm gonna miss sitting next to you because we're promoting you, because you did such a good job to be council president. We hope, because you really do an outstanding job. I can't keep a secret.
Thank you.
Any further discussion that we shouldn't be having? Okay, committee reports. Councilor Sargent?
Thank you, Madam President. Okay, City of Salem, City Council, December 7, 2017. Committee on Government Services, co-posted with Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of carrying matters forward, has considered said matter and would recommend that Rule 31 be suspended and the attached matters be carried into 2018.
Give the reading?
That's the report first.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed, on adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
No discussion. Waive the reading. Move forward.
Further discussion? Seeing none, on Councillor Sargent's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? That matter carries.
Amen.
Further committee reports, Councillor Dill.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. In City Council, December 7th, 2017, the Committee on Community and Economic Development co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of carrying matters forward into 2018, has considered said matter and would recommend that Rule 31B be suspended and the attached matters be carried forward. And I move to accept the report.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation and the discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. We had 4 matters still in committee, and the committee met, and we decided to carry the 4 that we're still working on over to next year.
Okay, any further discussion? Councillor Repley.
Thank you, Madam President. I will support the suspension of Rule 31B, but I would note for the record that I could, by myself, object to anything being held over into the next year. But I'm not going to do that because I believe in good governance, and I believe in making sure that people who provide their work, who've worked so hard on the Community and Economic Development Committee, that work should be rewarded by putting that over into the next council. So I support the Ward 7 council.
Good for you. Any further discussion?
Thank you very much.
Seeing none, on Councillor Dibble's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. We have some more committee reports. Councillor Famico.
City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017. The Committee on Public Health, Safety, and Environment co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of carrying matters forward to 2018, has considered said matter and would recommend that Rule 31B be suspended and the attached matters be carried forward. With this, we actually discharged 4 from committee, Madam Chair, and then there's quite a few left from the downtown corridor for what to do with people driving there, disabilities with access and accessibility, universal design. One matter, it actually, I'm not sure what to do. Maybe the Madam Clerk could clarify this for me because it's listed to meet relative to a trial, but we enacted that today. So I believe it would just carry forward for that. But there's quite a few things on here that have some work that will be worked on next year.
Any further discussion?
No.
Seeing none, on Councillor Famico's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councillor Famico, further committee reports.
City of Salem and City Council, December 7th, 2017. The Committee on Public Health, Safety, and Environment co-posted with the Committee of the Whole the matter, to whom was referred the matter of discussing the 90-day trial period relative to traffic configuration on Brown Street and Washington Square, has considered said matter and would recommend its approval, or recommend enactment.
What was that, recommend what?
Approval.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure to say approval or enactment for that one.
Okay.
That's good.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation? Any discussion?
We had quite some discussion within this, just from people that, in general, there was the impression that it's generally safer in that area. However, it goes into the overall process and how it came about. And there's also discussion about going forward that maybe we do trials of different types to see what works and what doesn't for an area. And that, in general, some additional improvements need to take place in that area beyond the temporary yellow paint that we have on the ground now.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councillor Famico's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Communications from city officials.
Communication from Ben Anderson, Chairman of the Planning Board, relative to the Planning Board's recommendation for adopting a zoning ordinance relative to accessory living areas.
Councillor Ryan.
Move received and placed on file.
Councillor Ryan moves that this be received and placed on file. All those in favor? All those opposed? Councillor Ryan.
Move for adopting the accessory living area ordinance.
Any discussion?
We received a letter back from the planning board. They recommended adopting it. They also noted in making the recommendation that they also recommend non-contiguous structures be an option for an accessory living area, but they did note that that would cause a lot of edits and stuff, so I think we should just vote the way it is now, and then down the road, they can look at doing like a separate, which means a separate structure. They were talking about, right now, it's accessory living is just the same house, it's in part of that house. They thought that down the road, it should be able to build a separate structure, but that's not something that we should take up right now. It's gonna change, too many changes.
Receive the place on file, right?
So you're saying that we adopt it as
As we sent it.
as we did, yeah, okay. Any further discussion on that? No? Okay, on Councilor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Actually, that was adoption for first passage because it's an ordinance change. but-
Oh,
What was it, Doug?
adoption for,
First passage.
for first passage.
This is moved.
Okay, all those in favor of adoption for first
Wait.
passage?
What do we adopt?
What am I missing?
The recommendation was for adoption for
For the
first.
communication. But we got a,
What's the question, Counselor?
just curious if we've got an option to move, received, and placed on file. That
We already did
That's the
that.
letter.
The letter.
We did that.
We received the letter.
Right. Okay, so,
And the action on the letter is to vote on the ordinance.
yeah, and the one below it, what,
Are we okay?
I don't see it. No, I just didn't see it as an adoption for first passage. I thought it was a communication. So I thought it was, right?
Okay, all right, so we'll go back. On Counselor Ryan's motion for adoption for first passage. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Present.
Okay, the matter carries. Further communications from city officials.
We have a communication from Ben Anderson, Chairman of the Planning Board, relative to the Planning Board's recommendation of a zoning ordinance relative to design review board oversight, plan review applications in the entrance corridor overlay district, sections 8.2.2 and sections 8.2.8 of the zoning ordinance.
Counselor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. Move that the letter be received and placed on file.
Counselor Ryan moves that this be received and placed on file. All those in favor? All those opposed? Counselor Ryan.
Move for adoption, first passage, the planning board, under discussion.
Under discussion.
The planning board noted there's a Scrivener's error in section 3 of the proposed amendment, oversight, O-V-E-R-S-I-T-E. It should be oversight, O-V-E-R-S-I-G-H-T. And then they recommended unanimously that the city council adopt the zoning amendment with the correction of the Scrivener's error.
And that's your motion?
That's my motion.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I want to talk about this.
Counselor Sargent.
Just with all due respect, it's a little bit confusing because it just appears to be a communication about it. And something like that, I would assume would be going into committee, and then we have a committee meeting on it, a public meeting, a final public meeting, because once it goes to the planning board, people can't speak, they can just listen. So many times when we do these zoning things, it comes back to us and it goes into committee, and then we bring it out again. This just appears to be a communication from, it doesn't say a recommendation from the planning board. It says, it begins with communication. I think that's a little bit confusing to the average person reading it as far as it being advertised. So I would recommend that it go to committee. This isn't that pressing that these things can't go to committee and we can have a public meeting on it and be absolutely sure everybody knows what's going on. Because I've never seen it listed as a communication before.
Counselor Terrio, Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. Just to clarify this, this is the public process for a zoning amendment. It starts out with a referral, starts out being submitted to us. We refer to the planning board schedule a joint public hearing, which we did hold. That was the first one we held in the month of November. We held that public hearing on those two subjects, and we opened up the marijuana hearing. We closed these out for discussion, referred them to the planning board for their meeting. They completed their work on it and recommended back to us. And in both letters, it says they unanimously recommended that we approve it. They did give us a couple of thoughts for potential changes down the road to it. If at that point our job is not to take a zoning amendment, unless we want to kill it, it's not to take a zoning amendment and refer it back to committee, because if we start making changes to it, we have to reopen the whole public hearing process and go to another joint public meeting and basically start over. So at this point, we had the public hearing on the zoning amendment. They made no changes to it other than a scrivener's error. And so our job now is to vote on it as a council up or down and decide what to do with it. If we wanted to bring it back and do something else, we basically start over with the whole process. So that, yeah, unless that's what the will of the body would be, that doesn't make sense to do. With other ordinances, yeah, there's there's a back and forth process, but not with these. So the communication from the planning board was they met, they talked about it, they unanimously endorsed it, and they sent it back to us to vote on for final approval.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd have to agree with the Ward 5 councilor. But it is a little confusing where it's communications from city officials, the way it comes back to us. But again, being the rookie of this thing, I follow this. This matter and the previous matter that we just approved, the accessory living area, with that issue, we had quite a few meetings on it, public meetings through committee. We jointly had a public hearing with a lot of public input, with the joint meeting with the planning board and the city council. We referred it back to the planning board. They met on it, and now it's back before us. So it's time to approve these. So I will be voting in support of this one tonight.
Councilor D'Amico.
Thank you, Madam President. Typically, though, with open meeting law, an average person should be able to read an agenda and know what's being voted on, and this just says communication. It says nothing about adoption for first passage for the zoning amendment. My issue is just how it's noticed. While there is backup materials now available online for these things, if you're looking just at the agenda, it does look like just a communication. I was pulling up past stuff in my desk. We have a lot of recycling. And other ones have said to be referred for approval. It's on our agendas for that. This one, I just have more of an issue with how it was noticed for the general public. And that's also the last one why I voted president. I feel as though there's not enough. Unless you know the way the system works, you don't necessarily know this one would be to vote on a first passage for zoning. It just seems like you have the communication and then it's received and filed. You don't know it's going to be voted on for a zoning change. So for that, I personally don't feel comfortable voting on it because I don't think we have enough public notice that meet the requirements. If they're good at life. So with that, I actually would make a motion that we refer this to committee, so that could be of all ordinance license and legal affairs, and then suspend Rule 31B so it could be carried over so that the general public does know that this is being voted on.
Is there a second?
I'll second it for a vote.
Okay. Any more discussion on that? Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm wondering if it might be appropriate to simply table the matter so that the proper wording can go in here as the good Ward 2 councilor is looking for. If that's a possibility, whereas the wording can be fixed and we can vote on it on our next meeting.
I'm going to defer to the clerk because I know we have a timetable when it comes back to us from the planning board. What's the timetable to act on it?
To act on it, well,
A
you have
recommendation?
90 days to act on it.
90 days?
90 from the time that you've received it, and the time is growing short.
Okay, all right. So I'll entertain your motion to table. It's non-debatable.
I'm sorry, Madam.
No.
I did not pose a motion. I was simply asking the question. There is no motion from this council.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were moving to table it.
I was wondering if it might be appropriate.
Ah, okay. So the motion that we have on the floor is to refer this back to Councilor Formico's motion, seconded by Councilor Sargent, to refer this matter back to ordinances, licenses, and legal affairs.
Refer it to. With Rule 31B enacted.
With Rule 31B, carry it over. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
That matter does not carry. Now let's go back to Counselor Ryan's motion for adoption for first passage. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Present.
Present also.
Okay, that matter carries. Let's go back to communications from city officials.
We have a communication from Jane A. Guy, Assistant Community Development Director, submitting the following order on behalf of a Community Preservation Committee regarding CPC recommendation of CPA funding for 1-3 Bemis Street acquisition, 10,927 square feet. Ordered an appropriation of $100,000 within the CPA funds for fiscal year 2017 to the accounts listed below.
Counselor Girai.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Counselor Girai.
Thank you again. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you for a third time. So this was reviewed by the Community Preservation Commission, and they felt strongly that they want to purchase the land. And as we heard in our last meeting on November 16th, that both the current at-large counselor, as well as being a former Ward 4 counselor, as well as the current Ward 4 counselor, also spoken in favor of this, and we as a body had supported going after this. And so the CPC agrees. We all agree. Let's go buy the land.
Counselor Terrio, Counselor Epley, Counselor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. This is something, this popped up last month at the previous meeting, and where it turned out that this land that everybody thought the city owned wasn't owned, and created this dilemma. I will want to really applaud the Ward 4 councilor and the at-large councilor, both of whom jumped all over this and worked to try and get this rushed through the system to prevent development, which would have been entitled by right at that location, and incorporated permanently into the park. So the two of them did wonderful work in moving so fast to get this done.
Counselor Dibble, Counselor Epley.
I'll yield.
Okay, Counselor Epley.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to thank the Ward 5 councilor for the words there, and I appreciate the CPC for coming back with this. I would just note to this council, as well as to the future council, and specifically the councilor-elect for Ward 4, that there are 3 parcels that are still owned by the city. They're not owned by any private citizen, but the city should frankly convey those to the Parks and Rec Commission so that there's a complete 100% preservation of that Gallows Hill site.
Idea. Counselor Dibble, Counselor Girai.
Thank you, Madam President. I have to echo the words of the Ward 4 councilor just now, and in particular point out the good at-large Councilor Ryan, for bringing this to my attention way back in October or so in great detail. And then after the election, reaching out to the Ward 4 councilor-elect. I'm in support of this. I rebuilt the basketball court in 1987, and I'm amazed to see how close this property line is to the basketball court. I always thought that it was part of the Gallows Hill Park, Upper Gallows Hill Park, where the playground, small playground and basketball court are. But I'd like to move to suspend the rules so we can hear from the Ward 4 councilor-elect, because I think he might have something to share with us. Thank you.
Seeing no objection. Counselor, do you care to address us? I'm not really sure.
I'm sorry, Madam President, maybe to clarify, should the good Ward 4 council-elect choose to address the council?
Can you give us a hint as to what he should be addressing us about?
He has been speaking out heavily in favor of preserving these lands, and whereas he's going to be the Ward 4 councilor seeking to protect these lands, I thought that he might like to speak. He's here in attendance tonight.
Okay.
So again, motion to suspend the rules to allow the good Ward 4 councilor-elect to speak, should he so choose.
Okay, and I see no objection. And Councilor-elect Flynn, if you care to address us, come on up to the podium. On this particular matter, by the way.
Yes. Thank you very much. I just want to thank Council-at-Large Ryan for letting me know this back in October. I've been in contact with the neighbors up there, and I've been keeping a close watch over this matter. And I think this is absolutely the route to go. I think it's a good thing, and I want to preserve that park. There's many people that use it, a lot of children up there, and I think this is a perfect use of the funds to do this. So I think it's a great thing. I want to thank everyone, and Council Apparelli too, for working on this. I think it's a great thing, and I'm all for it.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the chance to speak.
Councilor Ryan, Councilor Gerard. Councilor Gerard, Councilor Ryan.
Thank you very much. Just quickly, I think that there's a Scrivener's error here that this should be FY 2018, not 2017.
Oh, okay.
And it is in the actual paperwork that it is FY 2018. So
Okay.
just want to make sure that we're clear that this is FY 2018 funds.
Which will be available on July 1st.
Which
Oh, no,
already
we're in
are
2018
because
now,
it's-
excuse me, which
Yeah.
were available on July 1st.
Which were available on July 1st. Yes.
Councilor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank the Community Preservation Committee for rushing through and getting this, because that land needed to be preserved. Back in 2008, when I first became the Ward 4 councilor, the mayor had approached me about selling the house there in Gallows Hill. And one of the things she talked about was if we sold the house, they would take this land, this is when I first learned about Bemis Street, and make the city lands that Councilor Epley was talking about, they're the ones the city owns, and make it with a conservation easement. Well, the house never got sold, the easements never got put on, and I was assured at that time that they could never build on it. Out of there was the 3 or 4 lots that the Sullivan's owned. One of them they bought from the city of Salem back in '86. 2 of them were always privately owned. So that's why it's important that those other ones, the one on Hanson Street and the one on the back, get converted to parkland, so it can never happen. This is a great start, it stops this, but the other ones need to be changed too, and hopefully the Ward 4 councilor-elects will be able to stay on top of that, take care of that, and make sure that whole parkland, it's all parkland. Everyone thinks it's parkland, it should stay parkland, and I appreciate Councilor Epley and everyone who supported the Park and Rec Commission and everyone that helped make this happen. It's great that we can do that. So one good thing for the CPC, Community Preservation Committee does a lot of good work. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
I just,
Councilor Sargent.
I just want to thank Councilor Ryan for really hustling down to the Park and Rec Department when this kind of reared itself up again, where it had been laying dormant so long, and in his typical quiet, humble way, just didn't care who got the credit, just got the job done and got this rolling. And not too often we're going to have one of 14 children sitting on the city council, so I'd like to thank Dr. and Mrs. Ryan for raising 14 wonderful kids with all of them with great character, tremendous work ethic, and very quiet and humble, and none of them care who gets the credit. In sports, politics, neighborhood, whatever, they just get the job done. So, thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion for adoption? We don't need a roll call vote, right?
No.
No. All those in favor? All those opposed? That carries. Petitions.
Communication from Mary Queen of the Apostles Parish informing the City Council that they are holding a walk on Friday, December 8th, 2017, beginning at 6 p.m.
Councilor Fumiko.
Well, they're informing this, so I move that this be received and filed. Doesn't say that their request, it just says that they're informing us. So, received and filed.
Okay, Councilor
And then under
Fumiko moves that this application be received and filed?
I move it be granted then. It just says that they are informing us, so I move this be granted.
Okay, under discussion?
Yes, this is actually mostly, it's part Ward 1 and part Ward 2. It's a walk that goes from basically where we vote on St. Peter's Street, and then down to Brown, right onto Washington Square. Then you go down by the Hawthorne Hotel on that little side street. So it's more of a block walk that I guess they could do it all on their own anyhow. without informing us. They're just letting us know. It's from 6 to 6:30 tomorrow night. So it's a very short distance.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Famico's motion that this be granted, all those in favor, all those opposed, matter carries. Further petition.
We have a request from the North Shore Medical Center to hold their annual cancer walk and use of city streets on June 24th, 2018, beginning at 8:30 a.m.
Councilor McCarthy,
Thank you, Madam President. Move for approval.
under discussion?
Briefly, I mean, every single one of us in this room has probably, at one point or another, been touched by someone that we know, a family member, a friend, or someone who has been diagnosed with cancer. This is a walk that, if anyone's participated in it, knows that it's a bunch of family and friends that go out and support those who have been afflicted with cancer, and they raise money to hopefully one day eradicate this horrible disease that affects so many of us. It's a wonderful walk. I encourage anyone who hasn't done it to participate, to be able to walk up Lafayette Street and see the sea of people coming at you, and then all of a sudden turn around and see the sea of people coming at you the other way. It's something to behold if you haven't done it, but it's a great cause, and it's an annual event, and I wholeheartedly support it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council McCarthy's motion for adoption, all those or approval, all those in favor, all those opposed, matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a request from Alpha Sigma Phi to hold a walk and use of city streets on April 7th, 2018, beginning at 10 a.m.
Councilor Terrio,
Thank you, Madam President. I move for approval.
under discussion?
No real discussion. We heard from Mr. McKinnon earlier, and I think it's a worthy cause.
Any further discussion?
Just a backpack full of rocks walk?
Councilor Sergeant?
This is the one where they walk with a backpack full of rocks?
Rock walk, yeah.
God bless them. I'll be there with my wheelbarrow. Thank you very much.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Terrio's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further? None further petitions? Wait a minute.
The list
Further
of
petitions, yeah.
license applications for public guides.
Councilor Ryan,
Move granted.
any discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of license applications for Seaworm, secondhand clothing, and secondhand valuables.
Councilor Ryan,
Move referred to Committee on Ordinance and Legal Affairs.
any discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of drain layer and contract operator licenses.
Councilor Ryan,
Move granted.
any discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further petitions.
We have two claims.
Councilor Ryan,
Move referred to the Committee on Ordinance and Legal Affairs.
discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? No carries. Further petitions.
We have one drain layer bond.
Councilor Ryan,
Move referred to the Committee on Ordinance and Legal Affairs and returned approved. No discussion.
on Councilor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Chapter 2 Administration, Article 4, Division 3, Board of Health, Certificate of Fitness of rented dwelling until apartment,
Councilor Famico.
dwelling unit, apartment, or tenement.
Councilor Famico.
I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Any discussion?
For this, it's a second passage of it. Not speaking on behalf of the committee, but then speaking on behalf of myself. I still have concerns with this. And even looking at it last time, for example, even short-term rental says you can't rent to a tourist. I don't know what a tourist is. That I guess I can still rent to a friend if it's a short-term rental. If the friend is not a tourist, it could be someone within Salem. I think there's some flaws in it, so I am continuing to be opposed to this. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, on Councilor Famico's adoption for second and, oh, Councilor Ripley, sorry.
Thank you, Madam President. I was not present at the last meeting because I was visiting Mickey Mouse at that particular time. It was a very short-term visitor down there, and believe me, I was paying a heck of a lot of rent to Disney World. But on this particular matter, Madam President, I am opposed. I think that we can do a lot better as a city and as a city council to do regulation of Airbnbs. This does not go far enough, and there should be higher fees. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councillor Famico's motion for adoption for second passage, second and final passage, all those in favor? All those opposed? Opposed. The matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of a bond order that was adopted June 22nd, 2017 for fiscal year 2018 CIP, funded bond authorization for various capital improvement projects that were inadvertently omitted.
Councillor Giroux.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Under discussion?
Thank
Any
you. Just
discussion?
briefly, I guess I lied before. This is my last act as Chair of Administration and Finance.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Did we still go on? I mean, this is an endless agenda, it seems. So this was just a simple Scrivener's error. This was something that the committee had reviewed during the budget process, that it was just making sure that per our bond council that we included the laundry list of those items. And so I asked for a second and final passage and done by roll call vote.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councillor Giroux's motion, Madam Clerk?
Councillor Terrio?
Yes.
Councillor Sargent?
Yes. Yes, please.
Councillor Ryan?
Yes.
Councillor McCarthy?
Yes.
What did he say?
Councillor Giroux?
Yes.
Councillor Fury?
Yes.
Councillor Famico? Present. Councillor Epley?
Yes.
Councillor Dibble?
Yes.
Councillor Milo?
Yes. A lot of roll call votes tonight. Thank you. On the matter of second passage for a bond order adopted on June 22nd, 2017 for 2018 CIP, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 absent, 1 voting present, 9 in the affirmative. The matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, chapter 42, section 75, parking prohibitions, towing zone, resident sticker parking on Broadway.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor Terrio's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, chapter 42, section 50B, handicap parking, limited time, Dow Street.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. Move for second and final passage.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, chapter 42, section 11, bus stops, repeal Holyoke Square bus stops.
Councilor Famico.
Move for adoption and for second and final passage.
Any discussion?
No.
On Councilor Famico's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, section 50B, handicap parking, limited time, Rice Street.
Councilor Famico.
Move for adoption for second and final passage.
Any discussion? On Councilor Famico's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor Fury.
Point of privilege, I'd like to come in and congratulate Rosemary Connell for being here tonight. It's very late hour. We had a wonderful fundraiser time for her at the Moose. You are the epitome of the essence of the city of Salem, the contributions to the Salem Canine Police Department. The Butler showed up, many of us showed up. We had a wonderful time. It was a real labor of love. All the people that were involved say thank you, Rosemary. Thank you very, very much. And wonderful time.
Thank you. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. Before you bang that gavel one last time. Yep, just like that. Remember, you got to hit it on the edge and the little piece has to fly off.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. I just want to stand and say, before you bang it the one last time, thank you.
Thank you.
For a lot of us who have sat up there, it's sometimes it's not as easy as it appears to be. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor
Merry
Fury.
Christmas.
Oh,
Motion
wait.
to adjourn, Madam President?
Motion to adjourn.
One
Second.
more. Councilor Sargent.
Second.
Oh, you're seconding the adjournment?
Yep.
All right. We're done. Thank you all. Have a great holiday.